Welcome to Booked for Two, the podcast where a married couple dives into epic stories, wild worlds, and sometimes questionable romances.
Basically, I'm here for the epic fantasies, dragons, battles, and way too much lore. Think Lord of the Rings meets a Wikipedia rabbit hole.
And I'm here for the emotional chaos. Think smuttier fantasies, heartbreaks, and the moments that make you gasp or throw your book.
She's the heart and soul. I'm the deep dive into every detail you didn't know you needed. Together, we'll tackle characters, plots, and themes one chapter at a time.
So whether you're team lore or team feels, grab your book, get comfy, and let's turn the page together.
I really hope we get more Mort. That smug little shit talking door knocker was peak entertainment. I respect a man, or whatever he is, who commits to pissing off Celaena just because he can.
Same. I love how she threatens to rip him off the door, and he's just like, yeah, sure, go ahead, see what happens.
Honestly, this is probably our relationship if I were a cursed object.
If?
What? So last time we cracked open Crown of Midnight and got right back into the chaos. Celaena is out here pretending to be the king's personal Grim Reaper, but plot twist, she's not actually murdering all of his enemies, just making it look that way.
Oh, that plus the whole secret rebel group problem. The king being extra shady and Chaol clearly catching feelings. Oh, and then Dorian. Let's just say his life is about to get way more complicated.
And in chapters 10 through 18,
Celaena starts actually investigating. Archer proves he's still not trustworthy, and Nehemia is way too calm about the whole probably going to be assassinated thing. Meanwhile, Dorian's body is basically glitching, and his magic is starting to wake up in the worst possible way.
And Chaol, let's just say someone's about to get stabbed in the heart, emotionally and otherwise. Plus, a certain dinner date might be sealing some fates.
Ooh, let's dive in.
As always, we must do our shameless plug because without it, we will not be able to reach other wonderful people in our book lovers community. So please be sure to subscribe, follow, and review our show on your favorite podcast listening platform. Your support means everything to us.
Make sure you're following us on social media for behind-the-scenes content, sneak peeks, and updates. Plus, every Saturday, Sunday, we'll post the chapters we're covering in the next episode so you can read along with us.
We want you to get to know us, so join us every Wednesday evening at 8 p.m. Central for a live Q&A on our YouTube and TikTok profiles. Whether you're burning to know more about the podcast, the chapters, or even something random like what's our favorite trope.
We're thrilled to share that stickers and bookmarks are now available. Whether you want to deck out your water bottle, Kindle, laptop, or keep your place in your favorite book in style, we've got you covered. You can get them at bookedfor2.com or the link in our socials.
And don't forget, we'll be posting cryptic messages from our assassins personas, the keepers of whispers themselves, Obsidian and Garnet, on our socials. Solve the puzzle and you'll have a chance to win autographed stickers and bookmarks from both of us.
We will be posting the cryptic messages every Friday, so be sure to follow us and check regularly. We can't wait to see who rises to the challenge.
Oh, and before we dive in, this episode contains spoilers for Throne of Glass and Crown of Midnight. So if you're not caught up, well, consider this your official warning.
Also, fair heads up, this is an adult content show. We swear, we talk about murder, morally questionable characters, and let's be real, there's a good chance we're going to discuss some spicy scenes in graphic detail. If you're looking for a wholesome book club experience, well, that's cute, but you might be in the wrong place. And now, let's dive into chapters 10 through 18 of Crown of Midnight. Let's turn the page.
And now, starting with chapter 10.
Assassins don't do dinner dates. Dorian and Chaol take the scenic route into the castle, by way of the kennels, because Dorian's little sociopath of a brother, Holland, is lurking around. And honestly, I get it. The kid is like a walking horror movie prologue.
Nice.
Dorian is still salty about his mother pulling him out of school, but Chaol, ever the practical one, points out that with the growing unrest against the king It's actually safer for the kid. Chaol also drops the whole, you can't avoid Holland forever.
But why can't we?
Right? Please? He sounds terrible. He optimistically suggests that maybe the little terror has matured, which, no, not even a little bit. But sure, Chaol, dream your little hopeful dreams. Ever the optimist. Then, because we can't have a conversation between these two without family trauma leaking in, Chaol mentions his own brother, which sets Dorian off. He hates Chaol's father. And honestly, from what we know about the man, he has every right to. The guy treats his oldest son like garbage. And Dorian, who knows a thing or two about awful father figures, clearly, he gets all fired up about it.
Dorian is such a good friend.
The
way
really
he
is.
protects Chaol unknowingly. Well, Dorian looks about as excited for family dinner as a man walk into his own execution. Chaol reminds him that skipping it isn't an option unless he wants his father to literally murder him. Literally. Dorian cracks a dark joke about Celaena beating his father to it, but Chaol shuts that down fast. She's out to dinner with Archer. That gets Dorian's attention real quick. Isn't she supposed to kill him? He asks, his tone just a little too casual. Chaol explains she's working him for information on the rebellion, but he isn't exactly thrilled about it. Dorian picks up on that, and jealousy slithers in. His words come out sharp, colder than he intends. Archer won't steal her away. Chaol barely reacts, just levels with him with a look. You think that's what I'm worried about?
And then there's this weird sentence. Yes, and it's obvious to everyone except the two of you. And we thought that that may have been a fourth wall break. Then we talked to Bree, and Bree told us that we don't know how to read. And then we reread.
I don't think it wasn't we don't know how to read, but it is.
We were really excited. I really wanted it to be so bad.
She did agree with us that it was a weird sentence and that she can see how it might look like a fourth wall break. But then once she mentioned it was Dorian's thought, and then you thought about it and I thought we were like, oh, okay, now it makes sense.
Yeah, he's referencing Chaol and Celaena.
Yeah, it's just a weird sentence, but it would have been cool if it would have been a fourth wall break. That would have been pretty slick right there.
I would have been very excited about that. I was ready to scour the entire book for more of them.
But not only that, because I thought it was a great fourth wall break sentence too, because it's true. It's like, yes, and it's obvious to everyone except for you two idiots. And that's what I thought SJM was trying to say to us. But then you mentioned that it's actually talking about Celaena and Chaol, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, well. Well, neither one wanted to talk about it. So Dorian tries assuring Chaol that everything will be fine. But he can still see the worry in his best friend's eyes. Meanwhile, Celaena is pulling out all the stops for this dinner.
Woo! Go, girl!
She picks the dress. You know the one. The kind that raises eyebrows and probably drops jaws. A little too revealing for winter. Yeah, maybe. That's okay. But she knows damn well that Mr. Finn, Mr. Archer, is going to notice.
Hey, I noticed, and I'm just reading it.
And the real question at play here is she playing the long con? Is she making him think she's unarmed when she's actually got several hidden weapons on her? Or is she just testing the waters because she remembers him being delicious when she was younger? What do you think?
What I think is if you came to me at dinner wearing whatever she's wearing, yeah, we wouldn't make it to dinner either. I would just say we're leaving right now. We're going back home, hotel, whatever. We'll just do it in the car at this point. No.
Oh, wow. Okay. Noted.
Oh, Chaol definitely had all these same thoughts running through his head, and we all know why he told her, you're not wearing that. Babe, you can wear that.
Thank you.
You can always wear that. Please wear that.
Will do.
But instead of admitting the obvious, he plays it off like he's worried she'll be cold and unarmed. Sure, Chaol, whatever helps you sleep at night. Luckily, Philippa, MVP of Fairy Godmothers, has already thought ahead. She had special hairpins made long and razor sharp so Celaena could stop stabbing herself in the chest every time she went full assassin with a makeshift shiv.
Before she heads out, Chaol touches her shoulder and gives her the classic,
be careful.
And Celaena, being Celaena, decides that the best way to deal with his helicopter energy is to dismiss him entirely. See you tomorrow, she says. And boy, does that light a fuse. Chaol flashes his teeth. Not a smile.
Flash those teeth.
Not a smirk. Teeth. She even goads him a little bit more before walking off, leaving him stewing on the steps. She doesn't want him thinking that she's weak or vulnerable or inexperienced. She's Adderland's assassin, damn it. The king's champion. She doesn't need a protector.
Oh, is that why she said that? Is that why she said, see you tomorrow? Because she doesn't want him to think I'm weak and vulnerable? No, she said that to rile him up. Rile him up.
Yeah, because he's all helicoptering and she's tired of it. Get off me, Tamlin. I mean,
Poor Chaol.
because Chaol.
You
what?
equated him to Tamlin.
That's on him.
That's
He's
not
helicoptering.
Nice.
And
He's
she's
not
just
helicoptering that badly.
I said,
wait, did you snap with your hand? Did you? I saw that. Hey, we may be in a camera right now, but I saw the snap grab.
that was not at you.
Oh, how dare you. And then we go to dinner. Archer is already inside one of Ritholt's fanciest restaurants. Celaena makes sure her entrance is a moment. She gives him the full effect, lets him take it all in, and he does. Stunning doesn't even cover it. The man is speechless. The conversation starts off with a light flirting, reminiscing about the past 5 years, and just a dash of strategic info dropping about how she ended up working for the king. But then Archer starts laying it on thick, or at least that's how Celaena sees it. Archer, though, he just smirks an effortless charm and says, if I were, we'd already be gone. And honestly, the only thing missing is a slow motion rom-com montage with soft lighting and some sappy pop ballad playing in the background. Thankfully, dinner arrives before this turns into a full-blown Ryan Gosling smolder moment.
That was so awkward. I feel like she was expecting that he was trying to get in her pants, and he's like, no, if I was, we'd already be there. So it's kind of awkward. So I guess I'm also glad that the waiter showed up when they did.
But she knew. That's the whole reason why she wore the sexy dress. She knew that.
I know.
She was trying to get him to want to bring him back home.
Yes, I understand that.
Okay.
Well, speaking of that, after dinner, Archer offers her a ride home and she accepts. And then when they reach his townhome, he invites her up and makes it crystal clear this isn't a business meeting. Yeah, that's not what Celaena had in mind.
That's what he had in mind, though. Woo!
She shuts that down immediately by flipping the script on him, hitting him with, so, how about your life as a gigolo?
Nice.
Turns out he's just trying to scrape together enough money to buy his way out of servitude. He owes someone named Clarice, probably a madam, and once he's free of her, he can actually live his life. Celaena, ever the strategist, finds the perfect moment to drop the truth bomb. The king sent me to kill you. And that's where we end this chapter. Thanks, Celaena. Classic.
Hey, she told him what's up.
She did. And that's where we end the chapter. So I'm really glad we didn't stop this week's review at the first chapter. So I go back to the very beginning where we were talking about Chaol pressing her too hard, helicoptering. She's starting to feel a little oppressed by that. And I told you that. So don't put yourself at risk. Be careful. And she's trying to just shut that down so that he sees her maybe not as an equal, but as someone who is capable. She has clearly shown that. She's King's champion. She's Adderland's assassin. Come on, bro. Quit helicoptering.
I'm not denying that. What I'm saying is the way she said it in Celaena style and not doing what she should do and just sit down with the brother and say, hey, I'm good. There's no need to worry about me. Instead, she was like, I'll see you tomorrow. Like, come on. Like, you didn't think that's going to rile him up a little bit?
He has no
She did that on
say
purpose.
over her.
She
Well,
did that.
Of course she did it
Come
on
on.
purpose. Of course she did it on purpose. I am not denying that.
I know she did it on purpose. Of course she did.
I'm not denying that.
But now you can see why Chaol got a little riled up there.
Well, yeah, because
I got riled up for him.
Yeah, well, Archer is attractive. He's smooth. But do we trust him? Do you
Hell
think,
no.
Do you think he's out for himself? Is he a survivor and he's going to play all of the sides?
Look, if there's one thing I've learned about gigolos, prostitutes, anything in these type of stories, I'm dead serious. They collect information. Again, if we go back to what's the show, not Game of Thrones, the other one before it, House of the Dragon.
Yeah.
That woman who was Daemon's prostitute, and then he tried to marry her, and then she became like the queen of the underworld. But what was her biggest thing? Why did she have power? Because she had information. So I guarantee our boy Archer has a ton of information. So I don't trust him at all because he's willing to sell because he wants freedom just as much as she does. I don't trust him.
Information is always power.
Oh, yeah. And information costs. Mm-hmm. So with the right information, he can get the money he needs to pay off Clarice. So he could screw our girl over.
He could.
It's possible. I hope he doesn't because with their past, him training with Arobin and everything. So I hope there's no screw over.
Yeah, I would think not. But I mean, it's been years. There's no telling what happened in the interim. There's no telling what part he may have played in her being captured. There's a lot of unknowns here still. But one thing I do want to talk about is they talk about a flicker of a memory that she had. And it says, from a time when, just for a moment, she had been free, when the world had been wide open and she had been about to enter it with Sam at her side. I am wondering if she got killed because she no longer owed Arobin anything. And she was now free and she had all of that information.
I'm glad you had this down here because I totally forgot about this flash when we talked about it earlier. But now it makes sense because he got paid off by her. I remember he spent it in like 3 hours and we kind of laughed about it.
Yeah.
So she wants her freedom. She doesn't want to work as an assassin anymore. Her and Sam were going to go off. If she is his best assassin, why would he let her go? Nope. He's going to stop that shit. So he's the one that betrayed her. He's the one that got Sam killed. Probably killed off everyone that knows about it. The Fenon guy, what's his name?
Rourke Farron.
Farron. And then the other one that was his bodyguard, Arobin's bodyguard. Yeah. Dead because they know too much shit, right?
I don't know. That makes sense. I mean, that all tracks. If they all know too much, they all have to go. How long ago did Chaol say that he was taken care of? 9 months? So that's before she was out of Endovir. So that doesn't have anything to do with it.
No, but I mean, if Arobin doesn't want to let her go, he would do anything to stop, kill Sam, kill all that. That way, he's the only one that she has to turn to. I have a feeling Arobin betrayed her.
I hope not. All right, are you ready to turn the page?
Let's go. And now, on to Chapter 11.
Dagger first, questions later.
Archer may play the part of a smooth-talking courtesan, but he's no slouch with a dagger. He has one out in a flash, aiming straight at Celaena. Assassin training did pay off. Not that it matters, because right now, he's fucking terrified for his life, and rightfully so. He begs her not to kill him. Celaena, bored with this little display, tells him the king thinks he's tangled up in some rebellion. Archer finds that absolutely hysterical, like full-on, you've got to be shitting me laughter. He swears he's no traitor, but he's got some interesting intel. There's a group in Rifthold gaining power, and they know the king is cooking up something dangerous, some kind of power that could tear Aurelia apart, and they're trying to stop him.
Celaena, of course, is eating this up. Free intel? Yes, please. So she pushes him to keep talking, and oh boy, does he deliver. It turns out this group, they want to put Aelin Galathinius back on the throne of Terrasen. Now, let's pause for a second, because then we get this line from Celaena. Celaena's heart stopped beating. Aelin Galathinius is dead, she breathed. Okay, excuse me. This is SJM at her most coded. Like, the way that she drops these lines, sprinkling the breadcrumbs all over the place. For anyone reading this for the first time, it's just like, oh yeah, sure, she's dead, moving on. But for the rereaders or the deep divers like we're doing, that sentence screams foreshadowing.
Well, at first then, I was the first time reader because I thought that she just breathed it like, oh, she's dead. Like someone told her she's dead, but then you told me that you think that she knows she's dead because she is Aelin, right?
I think so, yes. I think that the way that she said it is more of a, no, that person, that name, maybe not that person, that name is dead.
Yeah, because we both agree that she most likely is Aelin. You just think that she remembers herself being Aelin. I think that she doesn't remember herself being Aelin, and Arobin lied to her and just gave her a different name. But I can see your thing, the way she breathed, and the next sentence is after that. So most likely she does remember being Aelin, but she doesn't want to be part of that life anymore.
Perhaps. Well, Archer says that the rebels don't believe that Aelin is dead, and they are trying to raise an army to find what's left of King Orlan's inner circle. Celaena's not buying it, though. She knows that Aelin is dead. Or at least she believes she knows that Aelin is dead. And if someone is claiming to be Aelin, then they must be an imposter. And those were words that SJM said. Must be an imposter.
Now, Nehemia did mention that Terrasen had a force capable of standing against the king, but if that's true, why hasn't she told Celaena more? The thought lingers heavy and unsettling. Could Nehemia actually be keeping secrets from her?
I don't know if she feels that she can fully trust Celaena yet. And I mean, vice versa, it seems.
No, I totally agree. There's some secrets you might have to keep to yourself because you just don't know, especially now that she's the king's champion. You don't know what she might be forced to say. You don't know what kind of power there is out there yet.
And what could be used against you if somebody else gets captured. There's just a lot of what ifs.
Well, Celaena forces herself to focus. She takes a breath, regains her composure, and turns back to Archer. She's not going to kill him yet. He has a choice, though. Fake his death now and flee, or take a month to get his affairs in order while feeding her information. But let's be clear, he only stays alive as long as he keeps talking.
Archer, who is still struggling to process why he's even on the king's radar, agrees. And honestly, Celaena is thinking the same thing. Why him? But hey, this is definitely worth looking into. Elena did tell her to start searching for clues. Archer then invites her to a ball the next night and says he can get her in. It's time to bring back her Lillian Jordana alias. Before he leaves, she makes one thing crystal clear. If he tries anything, he's dead. Assassin Celaena activated.
Hey, you got to keep him on his toes.
For sure.
Before she can call it a night, though, Celaena has one last stop, Chaol's room.
Interesting.
She shows up at midnight, ready to tell him what she's learned. She's given him the rundown, a lost heir of Terrasen, whispers of an army forming, but leaves out the part of Aelin. And because he's Chaol, he goes straight for the brooding captain aesthetic, leaning against the mantle, staring into a tapestry of Aniel like it might whisper the answers to him. No magical stag yet, but give it time.
Oh, come on. Sure, at any moment, a magical stag is probably going to appear. Give me a break.
But at this rate, he's about one dramatic sigh away from a full Batman origin story moment.
Celaena tells him she's going to hold off on telling the king anything until she can confirm whether Archer is full of it or not. Chaol, of course, goes straight to...
Be careful.
And Celaena is so over it. She gets a little defensive, basically saying, yo, I can take care of myself. Thank you very much. And then Chaol. Oh, Chaol. Scott, you can read page 89. You know the part.
Believe me, Celaena, I know you can look after yourself, but I worry because I care. God's help me. I know I shouldn't, but I do. I will always tell you to be careful because I will always care what happens.
She blinks, and all she manages to say is, oh.
And then she gives him a sheepish smile.
Well, all right then.
Well, let's kick it back as we always do to the beginning with Archer and Celaena in the carriage.
Oh, he went full assassin training, kick in. Good for him. That's cute. I don't think it would have helped him, but I mean, he gave it a shot. But she just wants information, right? Not to kill him.
Well, I just thought about this. So the king wants him dead.
Mm-hmm.
We don't know why the king wants him dead. He doesn't know why, because that was a big thing. Remember, that was a question, like, why me? And if the king wanted information about this rebel group, why wouldn't he say, get information from him, then kill him? He just said to kill Archer. So that is very curious. Archer knows something that he's not telling us, I think. And that's why the king wants him dead. He's holding some type of information. Because remember, information is power.
You think that he has rebel information and the king knows that he has it?
I think he has information possibly on the king's plan because he probably sleeps with people in the king's circle. So he probably has information for both sides. And so that's what I'm saying. Like, I don't know if I can fully trust him as a courtesan, gigolo, whatever we want to call him. They just have so much information on all sides. So they control the power. They can get their money and everything like that. I just don't trust him yet. So he's going to play his sides. He's going to help Celaena to a certain point, I think.
Yeah. And he invited her to the ball the next night so that she can kind of go that route and see what she can find out there. So that was a good start.
Well, that's what I mean. He's going to help her out to a point, and then she's going to be pretty much on her own.
That's
but
fair.
He just has to help her out for a month.
I mean, that's all he's got until he has to be quote unquote dead or fake dead.
Oh, that's what I mean about information being power, because how much information is he going to share? Because he just has a month. He can hold on for this much information as long as he wants to just give her bits by bits by bits. I don't know. I just don't trust him. It's a weird thing. I know it's not a Knox thing.
Do you think he has gray eyes?
He doesn't have gray eyes. And I know I get stuck on somebody. I just don't trust him.
Okay. No, I like it. All right. You don't trust Archer this time.
I have a bad feeling. Knox was more fun because of the gray eyes thing. I didn't really think Knox was going to be the bad guy, to be honest. As soon as I heard Kane and they described Kane, I knew he was going to be the bad guy. But Archer, I just have a bad feeling about him.
We'll put a pin in that. And then let's talk about what Celaena does after she actually does return to the castle that night. She does stop at Chaol's room, even though she told him, hey, I'm not going to be back till tomorrow. Why do you think that she stopped?
She wanted to let Chaol know she was okay. I think she felt bad about what she said to him about, I won't be back until tomorrow. I think she felt bad. She was excited about the information, don't get me wrong, but I think she wanted to let Chaol know she was okay.
I'll accept that. And then he does the same thing and says, be careful. And then she snaps. So I guess it all got to the same place in the end anyway. She finally got to say, like, hey, stop helicoptering over me. I came back and told you, like, hey, I'm here. You don't need to keep telling me to be careful. I am being careful.
No, I totally see what you're saying. I think both sides, it's very complicated. Both sides are okay. So Chaol has a right to be worried because he likes her and he cares for her. But Celaena has a right to be like, I can take care of myself, Chaol. I've been doing this for a very long time by myself. And then she's like, okay, here I am. I messed up and said something snarky. I'm alive. I'm cool. And yes, now Chaol has taken it too far by hovering again here at the end. But he does finally let her know why. It's because I care too damn much.
And that was very cute.
And I think she appreciated that, honestly.
I think so too.
Because she knows why it's more feelings than it is because, you're the king's champion.
It's not like he was trying to hover. He actually has feelings and he actually cares for her as a person, not as an assassin or the king's champion. It's not a guard thing. It's a friend / I like you as more than a friend thing. So
yes. And I think that little smirk at the end was her appreciating that.
I think she finally realized it. Okay.
All right. Are you ready to turn the page?
I am. Let's go.
Up next is chapter 12.
Masquerades and mood poisoning. It's masquerade time, and Celaena is showing up looking like she stepped straight out of a fairy tale. Thanks to Philippa, she's rocking a swan-inspired ensemble, and honestly, I love this for her. Meanwhile, Archer is dressed as a wolf, which, okay, that's kind of fitting. Is this some kind of alliteration?
Yes, I think it is. SJM seems to do this a lot with her characters. So Archer, to me, is a wolf in sheep's clothing, perhaps. Remember, I said I don't trust him.
I know.
So I think this might be an alliteration. If you look back at ACOTAR, the first book, when they were all wearing the masks, Lucian was a fox. He's very sneaky. A lot of people think he's going to be doing a few sneaky things in the next coming book. So he might be doing some things behind the scenes. Tamlin was a beast, which is the form he normally transformed to, and he kind of act beast-like from Beauty and the Beast.
Okay. All right.
Because remember, the very first ACOTAR book is Beauty and the Beast-like.
It is. Okay. I like that. So maybe there's just some common alliteration themes that she's got going on. Okay. Well,
Oh my God. Hold on.
Whoa.
I just tinfoil had it like a son of a bitch just now.
All right. Good luck. Go.
Okay. Remember when I said Throne of Glass is Cinderella-like?
Yes.
Remember also when I said this book, now that we've met Mort, could be Alice in Wonderland?
Yes.
And now I just said ACOTAR, and a lot of people say that is very Beauty and the Beast.
Mm-hmm.
All alliteration.
Oh, okay.
If I think it's something like that, I might be wrong. I might be reading too far into it. That is extreme tinfoil hat. We're talking Pacific Ocean, far out there.
Okay.
Sorry, I just had to get that out.
No, that's good. No worries. Well, Madame Clarice is also at the party, and Archer reassures Celaena that neither Arabin nor Lysandra, that's a new name, will be showing up tonight. And apparently Celaena and Lysandra have some kind of long, violent history, which makes me very curious, but we don't have time for that right now. Well, Celaena isn't thrilled about being at this party particularly. There is one thing that does interest her, though, and it would interest me as well. The pastries. Davis, the host, he isn't exactly known for throwing extravagant parties, but he does have the best pastry chef in Rifthold. Celaena is tempted, but unfortunately, she's got actual business that she has to attend to.
And Archer points out Davis and says he thinks the man might be a leader in a so-called rebellion. Celaena gives him a look because, really, that's all he's got? Some half-assed theory based on a few papers he glanced at? Bullshit. He goes on telling her about a conversation he overheard. Davis and three of his buddies ranting about the king, but it's not like they actually care about who rules Aurelia. They just want whoever will make them the most money. They want a puppet. Tech bros.
Uh-oh.
Celaena isn't impressed. Actually, she's seconds away from rolling her eyes, but then Archer adds something interesting. This group has saved people from the king's gallows. That catches her attention. She wonders if Chaol knows about this, but quickly dismisses the thought. That's not his style. So if it's not him, then who the fuck is running these interrogations?
That sounds like some BlackRock bullshit to me.
Right?
Celaena decides she needs to get into Davis's office, and shocker, Archer is already way ahead of her. They pretend to be a couple sneaking off for some privacy, and when they reach the locked door, Celaena gets ready to pick the lock, only for Archer to beat her to it. All right, so maybe his assassin training is really paying off.
I'd say so.
Before stepping inside, Celaena does a quick dagger check. All right, we're good. Archer then conveniently remembers he needs to make an appearance downstairs and leaves her to it. Celaena starts searching the office, but nothing seems out of the ordinary until she finds one book. And it is full of word marks, and that is a red flag the size of Aurelia. Only Nehemia's family truly knows how to use word marks properly. So what is Davis doing with a book like this?
That's a good question. But then tucked into the back cover of the book, she finds a single sentence, a riddle. It is only with the eye that one can see rightly.
Ooh.
What the hell was a businessman doing with a book like this? And for the sake of everyone, hopefully the king never gets his hands on the word marks.
Remember, she thinks only Cain was using word marks or
Yes.
knows anything about word marks.
Good call. I totally forgot about that the Duke and the king were very good at hiding that from everybody. Good job. Now, she's going to bring this to Nehemia later, but then a little historical tidbit drops into place. People used to make a living harnessing magic before the king outlawed it. It was an entire industry that's wiped out. It's like banning Wi-Fi in the middle of the digital age. Pure power, then suddenly inaccessible. No wonder people were pissed. That would be crazy if all of a sudden the Wi-Fi around the world was just gone.
I don't even know what I would do with myself.
Nobody would, but that's kind of how it was for these people. That's insane.
Yeah, to all of a sudden lose something that's that connective and then it's just gone in a heartbeat. Well, speaking of heartbeats, her heart picks up when she hears footsteps in the hall. She has to think fast. So she does what any self-respecting assassin would do, and she cues the fake tears.
Smart.
So Davis walks in and there she is weeping. Honestly, brilliant move. Nothing makes a man more uncomfortable than a random woman crying in his office at midnight. Right, babe?
Well, most likely a guy like Davis who's not used to being around women that are able to share their emotions, and he's never probably been able to connect her to their emotions. A real man would see the woman and actually give a shit, but let's face it, Davis isn't a real man.
Oh, wow. All right. Well, he's also not in the mood for theatrics and could not care less about whatever sob story she's spinning, so good call. She's disgusted that Archer has to serve people like this guy. She tries to slip out, but Davis has other plans, and he pulls out a dagger.
Uh-oh.
Yeah. She immediately disarms him, but not before he gets a slice in, right on her forearm. She tries playing it off, saying the housekeeper let her in, but Davis isn't buying it because he knows that he's the only one with a key to his office.
But get this, Davis drops the real bomb. His blade was coated in poison, Gloriella.
Uh-oh.
This causes temporary paralysis, and he gave Celaena just enough to knock her out before his guards could drag her away. Now, as the poison creeps through her limbs, Davis is getting cocky. He actually tries to fight back, and here's the thing. He's actually good. Not just good enough, because even poison, Celaena's still better, and she proves it by shoving his own fucking dagger through his throat. Bet he won't call her bitch again.
I bet not.
She doesn't even grant him a mercy kill, just watches as he chokes on his own blood. She can definitely be brutal when she wants to, and that's some badass shit.
I'm for it.
Before the guards burst in, she launches herself out the office window. The poison is still racing through her system, every muscle sluggish, but she can't stop. Eyes locked on the distant shimmer of the glass castle, she pushes forward, home.
Stumbling through the city, she manages to grab a cloak off of some street bum. Sorry, dude. To hide herself. She cannot be linked to Davis's death. By some stroke of luck, the guards at the castle barracks are too busy partying to notice her sneaking through. There's only one place she knows she'll be safe. She just has to make it there. She pushes into Chaol's room, barely keeping herself upright. He turns, startled, immediately sees the blood on her dress, and then she collapses. With the last bit of strength she has left, she chokes out one word, Gloriella.
Well, that trip to Davis's house escalated quickly. Unfortunately, he was the only one with a key, and damn dagger with Gloriella.
That is an unfortunate turn of events. I mean, she had it all up until the point she didn't know that nobody else had the key, right? So it was all good until then.
Yeah, but the fact that he had that sucker poison in Gloriella, he probably knew somebody might try something.
Oh, I didn't even think about that. Like, what if Archer had warned him like that? I didn't even think about that.
He's a wolf in sheep's clothing.
That thought didn't even cross my mind.
Right? I told you, I do not trust that son of a bitch for the life of me. But speaking of trust, who does she trust more than anybody?
She trusts Chaol. She knows to be safe to go to Chaol's room. That's the only thought she had in her mind. That's powerful.
It's extremely powerful. I mean, I'm sure she could have went to Nehemia. She probably could have went to Dorian's, but Chaol is definitely where her mind went first. And that means something. Well, it's like, it's your emergency person. So like when you're at the hospital and you're like, who's your emergency contact? The first person she would think of, Chaol, right?
Yep. That's
her emergency contact. There you go. Aw. He has an emergency contact now.
That's so cute. Well, let's talk about this riddle.
Yes.
Though. It is only with the eye that one can see rightly. That's interesting. My first thought when she first read that was, what about the sword, Damaris, that she found in the tomb?
All right, tell me about it.
Well, that was the one that had the space in it that looked like it was an eye, but the gem was missing or something.
Well, you also said that it changed appearance from the first book. You said it went from gold to silver too, right?
That was the shaft in the room.
Okay, but that's still... Do you think that was a mistake from the book, or do you think that it actually changed?
I just assume it was
just a mistake from the book because of the gap from publishing, maybe.
That's what I was thinking.
That's not a big deal. We can forgive those small mistakes like that.
I didn't know we were forgiving things. I just, whatever.
No, that's what I mean.
Gold,
Like, it's
silver.
just like, who cares? It's a small mistake, but some people get caught up in details and it annoys me.
I don't care about any of that. I'm talking about the sword. This has nothing to do with the gold or silver shaft. This has to do with
I
the eye and
know.
the
I'm
hilt.
just, but that's what I'm wondering. Like, if it might have been on purpose that it changed from gold to now, because you said if that eye works, maybe the sword changed to fit the way she needs it to fit.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, the sword could. I mean, it's everything's magic, right?
It seems to be that way. Yes. It seems
so
that everything
if
is
a stag can magically appear on a tapestry, I'm sure a sword handle can magically change to a different shape.
Oh my goodness.
I'm just saying.
What do you think it is?
Well, I think it's the Eye of Celaena.
You think that it's referring to the necklace?
It's the only thing that we know that is for sure an eye.
They said that the Damaris thing was an eye.
Well,
I'm looking it up. Don't worry about it.
This is 100% an eye.
This is 100% an eye.
It's the Eye of Celaena. What
it's
other?
The eye of Celaena.
It's not the Eye of Damaris. It's the Sword of Damaris, or the sword is called Damaris. You're really looking it up?
Yeah, I'm looking it up, man.
Okay, I see it. I see an eye there.
Oh, you're actually looking at an image?
Why? What are you looking at?
Oh, I was just looking at the description in the book.
You were looking at the description. You know there's going to be fan art all over.
Aww.
Yeah, it does have an eye on the end of it, like a legit eye.
Then booyah.
And it's got runes too, apparently, or word marks.
Take that.
What do you mean take that? The Eye of Celaena is also an eye, so I'm not wrong. I didn't say you were wrong. I'm just saying that the obvious is the fact that it's called the Eye of Celaena, so I thought it's kind of obvious. I know it's too obvious, and the sword is the most likely candidate, especially now that I'm looking at this sword. Yes, Damaris does have an eye. I was not denying that. I was just saying that the obvious one would be the Eye of Celaena, because it's only with the eye that one can see rightly.
Yeah, because it's not an eye on a sword that you can see rightly. Come on.
Not saying that it's not.
Oh my gosh. I hope this is not another stag tapestry thing that all of a sudden it's going to be about eyes and swords, and I'm never going to live this one down too.
You're never going to live it down, let's just be honest. You ready to turn the page?
I am.
Next up, we have chapter 13.
Where she's safest.
Apparently, Chaol and Celaena had a night. And by that, I mean there's a lot of blood. Chaol checks her over. Nothing fatal, just a wound on her forearm. Good. Then she mutters one word. Gloria. Fuck. He doesn't waste a second. Snaps at Reese to quietly get a healer. They force the antidote down Celaena's throat, and the next few hours are spent with her violently puking it back up, while Chaol holds her hair. It's a goddamn disaster.
But that's very nice of him to hold her hair.
Very nice. You have to hold the hair when your woman's puking. When Reese returns, he brings updates. Davis is dead. Chaol barely reacts, just pieces together what must have happened. And honestly, good, because if Davis wasn't already dead, Chaol would have to finish the job himself. So what do you think that means? To protect Celaena or the king's interests, or both?
Okay, I think it's to protect Celaena. I think he's super muddled about his allegiances right now, but only as long as they don't directly conflict. Because I think once Celaena's goals and the king's goals come into direct conflict, I think we're really going to see a struggle. But right now, it's just about protecting Celaena. It wasn't anything against the king, so he has no compunction about taking care of that for her.
I 100% agree with that. This was definitely to help out Celaena, not the king, because the king doesn't even know who Davis is. Davis was not even on his radar. So as long as it's quiet, then Celaena's not on the king's radar. You are totally on point.
When Celaena finally wakes up, she feels like absolute garbage. Because surprise, surprise, being poisoned and then violently purging the antidote isn't actually a fun experience. What's even worse, Chaol is completely passed out in the chair in her room. He did not leave her side. Aw, what a sweetie. Her voice is still all raspy when she calls out his name, and just like that, he's awake and at her side. He immediately checks on her, making sure she's okay, because of course he does. And then in typical Chaol fashion, he makes an extremely accurate guess about what went down with Davis. Because this man, I think he knows her now. Celaena asks if he's going to tell the king, and Chaol, our walking moral compass, looks at her and actually says that he's not going to. And then he adds a little caveat. Next time, though, he's going to throw her in the dungeons. Quote from Celaena. For killing him?
Or scaring the hell out of me. Do you know what you looked like when you showed up?
I'll hazard a guess and say, bad?
If I hadn't burned your dress, I'd make you look at it right now.
You burned my dress?
You want proof of what you did lying around?
You could get in trouble for covering for me like this.
I'll deal with it if it comes to that.
Oh, you'll deal with it?
Yes, I'll deal with it. Celaena finally looks at Chaol, really looks at him, and for the first time she sees it. The fear still lingering in his eyes, the exhaustion from the night before weighing him down. And that's when it hits her. Something she should have realized long ago. Even when she was paralyzed, even with the Gloriella shutting down her body, she always knew where she was safest. It was never a question.
Oh my goodness. Chaol had to get an antidote and stay with Celaena to get her to purge. Gross.
Very gross.
Gloriella was what she had when the whole Sam and Rourke Farron thing happened. So she was not too keen on having that in her system again.
Did she now?
Yeah, that was what paralyzed her when she was captured.
Good catch. I did not realize that.
When Celaena wakes up, Chaol is still there, of course. And he was able to put two and two together because Rhys kind of gave him the little lowdown of what had happened in the city of Rifthold. But he isn't going to tell the king this time. That's interesting.
If he tells the king, both he and Celaena are dead. This went completely against everything the king told her to do. She was supposed to kill Archer. With this whole mess now, this can complicate things with the king's plan. And the king will not like that. And not only will he kill Celaena, but I think he would kill Chaol because Chaol is her friend. And he warned Celaena, you messed up, I'm killing your friends. So Chaol did the right thing.
But if Chaol told him, you don't think that he would take that into account and not kill Chaol because of it?
Yeah, that's true. He might, but...
Only if Chaol doesn't tell him, like, that's over with. Like, there's no going back now if he doesn't. I think he was genuinely scared. That's what it seems like.
Scared for what?
For her. Genuinely scared for what was going to happen to her.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Especially because he had to sit there and not knowing whether they gave the right amount of the antidote, not knowing how much Gloriella she had ingested. So he was just hoping and praying and sitting by her bedside waiting for her to wake up. That's powerful.
It's powerful, but we know that he's in love with her.
We do. But I want to talk about something else. I want to talk about one specific part, and I know the Book Talk girlies are with me. He leaned over the bed, bracing his hands on the mattress as he snarled in her face. Yes, I'll deal with it. And I know it's not just me that got all fired up about that line. I know it's not. I know that the Book Talk girlies got that one too.
Yeah, I didn't get it all. I just thought it was just him saying, yeah, I'll deal with it. And that was it.
No, the whole leaning over the bed, bracing his hands on the mattress as he snarls in her face, that was for the Book Talk girlies. 1000%.
All right. Are you ready to turn the page?
I am. Let's do this.
And moving on to chapter 14.
Libraries and locked doors.
After seeing that spooky ass ghost thing, and yes, we are afraid of a ghost. This ain't Ghostbusters. Celaena returns to the library, except this time she's armed to the teeth like she's about to take on Gozer itself. Do you know who Gozer is?
Yes, I do.
Nice. After Davis's wildly entertaining death party, she has no interest in hitting the town. Instead, she dives back in the research on the word mark book she found at his place. And let's be real, she's also curious about what the hell Slimer was looking for down here. Are you afraid of a ghost?
I ain't afraid of no ghosts.
Hell yeah.
Celaena takes a moment to really take in the sheer size of the library. It's massive. 3 levels of books, meaning there's a very real chance that some of them have been completely forgotten. But what about below the library? Chaol had mentioned a legend about a second library hidden in the catacombs. And honestly, if she were a demon-ish creature looking for the best hide-and-seek spot, bingo. So she starts searching for anything that seems off. She even starts drawing X's on desks to keep track of where she's already looked, passing stacks of books, sconces, and oh, hello. The floor just changed from a polished marble to an ancient gray stone block. Okay, now we're getting somewhere.
Yes, we are. She walks for what feels like forever before finally hitting a wall. Literally, a corner. The bookshelves here are old as hell, carved from ancient wood, their ends shaped like sentries standing watch. And then the lights run out. The back wall is swallowed in darkness, but lo and behold, someone thoughtfully left the torch. A tiny torch.
That still seems sketch in a library, but okay.
Very sketch. What the hell is a lit torch doing there? No, and yet she's still going to continue? We're continuing?
bro.
We're not stopping?
No.
All right. Well, she's at least hesitates. She could go shake down Archer's class for information. She could come back tomorrow and explore further, but she decides to go the dangerous route, and she's already here. Picked up the torch. Let's go.
All right. Well, that's crazy. But across the castle, a clock chimes, waking up Dorian. And he wakes up covered in sweat. But here's the problem. It is freezing in his room. His windows are sealed. His door is shut. And yet he can actually see his breath in the air. He was having a nightmare. There were teeth and shadows and daggers. You know, the usual fun nightmare stuff.
Well, the room is already starting to feel warmer. Dorian shakes his head, trying to clear the remnants of his nightmare. Probably just his subconscious acting up and hearing about Celaena's fun little ghost encounter, maybe? He wants to yell at her for constantly throwing herself into danger, but he knows that will only push her further away. Dorian heads for his dressing room to change, but as he passes the couch, something stops him. A faint ring of frost lingers where he'd been lying. His breath catches, he leans in, blinks. Nothing. It's gone.
Whoa.
Yeah, we know what that is. We'll talk about that in a minute.
Oh, well, back in the library, another clock chimes. What's going on with these clocks? And Celaena realizes, holy shit, she has been down here for 3 hours. The back wall had not been a straight shot like the side walls. There were alcoves and hidden closets and study rooms and mice. Just as she was about to call it a night, though, something catches her eye. A tapestry. Oh, come on. What's with all the tapestries?
Yes, more tapestries, everybody.
It is the only decoration that she has seen on any of these walls, and that has to mean something, right? And then we get this line from the book, thanks SJM, quote unquote, there is no depiction of Elena or a stag or anything lovely in green. Seriously, am I being punked right now?
I find it curious that she specifically said a stag when she didn't say that the first time we saw the tapestry in Celaena's room, but the second time there was definitely a stag, right? It magically appeared.
Whatever.
All right. Well, the tapestry is described as woven from red thread so dark it's nearly black, and it depicts nothing.
What? No stag in this one?
No stag in this one, but if there's nothing, something might magically appear. Might not be a stag, but it might be something fun. Celaena runs her fingers over the strands, the hue so deep it feels like the fabric is swallowing her fingers into the darkness. A prickle of unease crawls up her spine. Sure as shit, she moves the tapestry aside and finds another secret door. So lots of clocks, lots of tapestries with secret doors. I wonder if there's a secret door behind Chaol's tapestry.
She didn't even check.
Well, now we kind of have to, right? I would.
For sure. Any tapestry now is suspect.
We have 3 tapestries. We're 2 out of 3 for secret passages, right?
Love it.
But of course, she pushes it open because you would too, right?
I mean, maybe. If I had her skills, yes.
Yeah, my dumb ass isn't doing it. Hell no, I'm running back upstairs like, Chaol!
Chaol, come play with me.
Help me! Like, I would at least I would still be curious. I would at least grab Chaol so I had like a protector and be like, dude, let's check this shit out.
Or Nehemia.
Oh yeah, I forgot she's a badass. She was getting rid of the Ritter Act. So if you are going to have someone get rid of some nasty, ghostly shit, she is the one. Good call. Good call, Nehemia. You're coming with us.
Yeah, but now she has to tell either of them about a secret door, so...
Oh, that's true. Yeah, but better safe than sorry.
That's true.
I would...
Safety in numbers.
You're right. Nehemia would be the one to trust, too, because she doesn't give a shit about the king. She wouldn't say anything. I think she would find this curious, too, with her word marks and all that stuff. Yeah, we're going to get Nehemia if you and I go down there.
All right. I like it.
All right, so we drafted Nehemia on our team?
We're drafting Nehemia.
We're drafting Nehemia. Got it. Well... After she pushes it open, the musty air drifts out, carrying the scent of something old and forgotten. A spiral staircase winds down before her. In the dim glow of her baby torch, she catches sight of ornately carved walls, depicting a battle.
She spots a thin groove in the marble wall. It's a channel, and it runs the length of it. It's just deep enough to hold oil, which just happens to be sitting right there in a lamp. So naturally, she pours it in, lights it with her torch, her baby torch, and just like that, firelight illuminates the path ahead. The carvings shift in the flickering light, and she could swear the stone faces turned to watch her. Nope. But she keeps going.
She finally reaches the bottom and snatches a fresh torch off the wall. The glow flickers over rickety bookcases lining the hallway. Every available space is crammed with scrolls and parchment. She skims through a few castle records, boring as hell. She moves on until she spots a hallway to the left. This one has to lead even lower, right?
Time for more firelight. This time, the carvings depict a forest and fae. And that's a big deal. Because if the king and his lackeys knew about this place, these carvings would definitely be gone. So Celaena has questions. How old is this stairwell? Is it actually older than the castle? Was something else here before? And what exactly is being hidden if something's being hidden?
And cold sweat prickles over her skin as a breeze drifts up from below, carrying the sharp tang of iron. Here we go again, another descent into the unknown. The flickering glow reveals a long hallway paved in gray stone. One door, plain iron, no exits except for the stairs. Celaena stops herself before touching the metal. Why iron? She remembers what she read. Iron was the one element immune to magic. She remembered that much, but there had been so many kinds of magic wielders 10 years ago, people whose power was believed by some to have long ago originated from the gods themselves, despite the King of Adarland's claim that magic was an affront to the divine. Wherever it came from, magic had countless variations, abilities to heal, to shapeshift, to summon flame or water or storm, to encourage the growth of crops and plants, to glimpse the future, and on and on. Most of those gifts have been watered down over the millennia, but for some rare strong ones, when they held on to their power too long, the iron in their blood caused fainting spells or worse.
Ooh, or worse? What? Okay, so is this door meant to keep something out or keep something in? Because let's be real, like there are hundreds of doors in this castle and none of the other ones are made out of solid iron. So Celaena, being Celaena, does the next logical thing. She tries the handle. It's locked. Thank goodness it's locked. What would she have done? Just opened it? There's no keyhole. There's no rust. There's no obvious way in. She's about to turn away when, wait, the amulet around her neck suddenly warms against her skin and a faint glow shines through her shirt. What the hell is this now?
Is that a shadow? A shadow darker than the blackness beyond the door? Celaena slowly pulls out her thinnest, flattest dagger and slides it under the door, trying to get a better look. She really, really wants to believe it's just rats.
Nah, girl. In this castle, we don't have rats. We have a Ritterax.
That's right. Then, two gleaming green gold orbs flash in the darkness.
Whoa! Celaena lunges backward because, excuse me, those were eyes, animal eyes, watching her. Her heart's pounding. She regains herself and dares another look, but the eyes are gone. No matter. Whatever answer she's looking for, they're behind this door. She just knows it. Maybe not today, but soon she's going to find a way in.
I swear to God, this castle has more secrets than a Taylor Swift album before it drops. Have you ever heard of that secret town under Disney World?
I have not.
So you have Disney World up top where all of us patrons, hang out and everything. And everyone wonders like, well, where do all the people come up and clean? Because the park's always so clean and perfect. And where do all the characters come from? There's an entire ecosystem and everything underground in Disney World. It's a legit city.
Oh, that's amazing.
Yeah. So that's what this reminds me of, like some underground catacomb city. Because remember, this glass castle was built on top of another castle.
And who's to say that that castle wasn't built on top of something else?
Exactly. Is this a Disney castle?
Oh,
Ooh.
maybe.
All right. So Dorian has powers.
That's what it sounds like. I mean, what was on his couch? Why was his room so cold? There's clearly something icy happening.
Oh, is he going to be Iceman from X-Men?
I don't know. I love that it's ice, though.
He is definitely a top favorite X-Man. So if he has ice powers, I'm down for that.
Okay. I'm not mad at that either.
Hell yeah. Dorian with some ice powers. Let's do it. I am totally in for that one.
You're in for that. Are you also in for more tapestries?
Of course, especially
because,
magic ones.
Oh my gosh, the freaking tapestries.
Especially
here.
magic ones with stags appearing and stags not appearing.
I'm really excited about this black one that maybe seemed like it was a void that was kind of sucking her in. I don't know if that means it was a portal. That's what I'm hoping that it is, but it's probably just that it was super dark.
It could be a portal.
That's what I'm hoping.
And damn well some scary shit at some point is going to pop out of that tapestry. It's going to magically appear like a stag, but it's not going to be nice like a stag. It's going to be some nightmarish, ghoulish shit that's just going to pop out of there and attack.
A terrible Ritterack-ish type thing.
Or whatever that ghostly thing is that now has, what is it? The eyes? Are the eyes green gold orbs?
Yeah, green gold orbs.
So speaking of green gold orbs, remember in Throne of Glass, she had that flash of the yellow fangs and green skin. I wonder if this could possibly be the same creature thingy. Because green, gold
Yellow
and gold.
fangs, green. Yeah, I don't see why not.
So green and gold, same colors. I'm not saying it is the same thing, but it's possible.
But green and gold orbs makes me think of cat eyes or something along those lines. Yellow fangs, I mean, would also still be that, but green skin kind of throws me. Green skin makes me think of zombies or maybe demons.
No, it sounds reptilian. So you have green, gold orbs, yellow fangs, green skin. It sounds reptilian almost.
Ooh, okay. I could get behind reptilian. All right.
Well, speaking of secrets in this tunnel alone, again, has a ton of very interesting secrets. So I had to take a second to write down one secret that I didn't realize was there was a war on the wall. So what war is that? Is that the war with Gavin and Erewhon? We have no idea. You have another depiction of a forest and fae. And then you have a big ass iron door that we don't know if it's keeping something in, keeping something from coming in, or keeping something from coming out. So there's a lot of secrets in this passageway. What do you think?
I think there's a lot of secrets in this passageway. I don't know about which war it is that's on the wall. I don't know if it's just the trick of the firelight that the statues or the carvings were moving. I'll be interested to see if that was magic and they were actually, if the whole section down there is actually magic and the stones or carvings are actually moving and shifting, or if it's not just the firelight.
Speaking of moving and shifting, that's another thing that seems to happen a lot in this castle. Because remember the gargoyles on the clock tower also moved and shifted, like they would watch Celaena. Remember that at the beginning? And now these things are watching, and that's so creepy. And I know what you're gonna say. Well, the sculptor did it on purpose.
Of course, they do it on purpose.
It's so creepy.
Part of the art. It is. It's super creepy. I'm not about it. I don't want any of that in my house. I would not appreciate it.
So, is it possibly safe to say that the stone part of this castle are ruins?
Yeah, I don't see why not.
Is it also safe to say that this could possibly have been a fae lineage that lived in this castle, considering the carvings that we're now finding? And it's possibly Elena, Gavin, that whole deal.
I don't see why not. That would make total sense, especially to be this old and to be maybe, I don't know that they are actually on the same level seabed wise as Elena's tomb, but maybe because she did go down a staircase.
Yeah. And then you also have that iron door. And like you said, we don't know if it's protecting us from getting in or protecting something from coming out, which we know something is behind there because she saw the shadow and the orbs, the eyes. So do you think it's protecting from that thing getting out or other things that might be in there?
I think that it is holding something inside.
I agree.
That the king does not want out.
The king? You think the king knows this passage?
Nope, hang on. I don't think the king knows about it. As soon as I said that, I don't think he knows about it.
Okay.
So how does he not then? How did whatever is in there get in there? Oh man,
I'm confused too. You would think that you would know your castle.
Hey, according to Fourth Wing, it only takes one generation to wipe out records. So.
Well, true, but you would think that the king himself, this is his castle. He had the glass castle built on top of it.
But he has no idea about this.
That's true.
He doesn't know about the secret tunnels.
Yeah, he's just shitty at his job, I guess. That's the only thing I can think of. He's just a terrible king.
I don't know.
Like, how do you not look around your home that you know used to be part of magical fae?
Hey, how big is this castle, though?
Celaena's been there all of 2 months, and she's already found 2 secret passages and 3 tapestries, one that has a magical stag and one that is empty.
She ain't got other shit to do. She's not trying to run a kingdom. I don't know. The
king has had 10 years at minimum in this castle. He has not found these passages.
He's got other shit to do. He's not walking around looking at tapestries for magical stags.
He's got lackeys.
He's not sending his lackeys around looking for tapestries with magical stags either.
What's Duke Borrington doing? He's not doing shit. He can go look around the castle and find some secrets. Come on now, you're telling me the guy who got rid of magic, who built this glass castle on top of a magic place that's most likely trying to bring an army of the goddamn dead, is not going to search your castle for secret passageways?
Clearly not.
Oh, well, clearly not in this story.
Wait a minute. How did Cain know about that one, though?
Boom!
Cain knew about that one, at least.
But he only made it to the landing, right? So he never made it down to Elena's tomb.
Not that we know of.
Well, not that we know
of. But I mean, if he already knew about the passage, why wouldn't he go inspect the rest of it?
But do we know that was his first time in the passage?
Exactly. He could have been all up in all of those passages. The king could know about all of this.
I'm so confused right now about these passages. We need some, hopefully there's going to be some clarification on the king being shitty at his job.
And the sconces were lit up. Like somebody's lighting up the sconces.
Someone's dropping torches, a baby torch.
No, they're not dropping torches.
Why are they having baby torches?
They're just torches there so you don't light the whole goddamn library on fire.
But it said a small torch. It wasn't
That's
just like
why
a
it's
regular
small.
torch. I don't know why I'm so caught up on these details of a torch.
I don't know why either. They said it was small so that it didn't catch the whole library on fire. It literally said that.
Either way, it was lit. Who lit the torch?
No, she lit the torch.
I thought the torch was lit.
No, she lit it.
Oh.
With a skunk.
Well, I can say one thing was lit. This fucking passageway was lit. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. That was a lit-ass passageway. Right. Oh, my God. All right.
Are you ready to turn the page?
Yeah, on that one, let's turn it.
Oh, my gosh. That was ridiculous.
We are moving on to chapter 15.
Songs of magic and silent goodbyes.
Hell yes, we're going to dinner in the Great Hall tonight, and Rena Goldsmith is performing in honor of Prince Holland's return.
Yay.
The royal family is perched up on the dais like they own the place because, well, they do. Borrington, Roland, and possibly Roland's mom are all in attendance. And then there's Holland, pale, round, and with a head full of ebony curls. He looks like he hasn't seen sunlight or a vegetable in weeks. Next to Dorian, who basically stepped out of a royal fashion spread, Holland looks extra pathetic.
And check this out. Chaol picks her table. He sits beside her, and 5 of his men join them, making it clear just how much respect they have for their captain. Celaena watches them interact, getting a rare glimpse of the bond they share. These men don't just follow Chaol because they have to. They actually trust him. And tonight, after the chaos of last night, something has shifted. The wall between them? Maybe. It's come down a little. They joke, they laugh. It's the kind of camaraderie that only comes from surviving some serious shit together.
And then out steps Rena Goldsmith. Celaena has only heard her sing once before, years ago at the Royal Theater, but her voice had haunted her for days. And it looks like tonight will be no different. The moment Rena starts to sing, the rest of the world ceases to exist. Her voice is soft, ethereal, like the melody of a lullaby half remembered in a dream. She sings of distant lands, of legends, of lovers lost in time, and not a single soul dares to make a sound.
Then, Rena dedicates a song to the esteemed royal family. And let me tell you, she delivers.
In straight Kendrick Lamar style, baby.
It is not just any song. It is an ancient legend, a poem that Celaena hasn't heard since she was a child, and never set to music. Rena went on, spinning the ageless story of the years that a Fey woman served those kings and lords. Quote, she heard it now as if for the first time, the story of a Fey woman blessed with a horrible, profound power that was sought by kings and lords in every kingdom. While they used her to win wars and conquer nations, they all feared her and kept their distance. She went on, spinning the ageless story of the years that the Fey woman served those kings and lords and the loneliness that consumed her bit by bit. And then one day a knight came, seeking her power on behalf of his king. As they traveled to his kingdom, his fear turned to love, and he saw her not for the power she wielded, but for the woman beneath. Of all the kings and emperors who had come courting her with promises of wealth beyond imagining, it was the knight's gift of seeing her for who she was, not what she was, that won her heart. End quote.
Beautiful.
Celaena doesn't even realize she's crying until she feels Chaol's hand wrapped around hers beneath the table. When she turns, she finds him already looking at her, and when he gives her that small, gentle smile, she smiles back at her captain of the guard.
Key word there.
Her. Ooh-wee.
Holland, however, is not having a good time. He's hissing, grumbling, and generally acting like he's a spoiled brat forced to sit through Hamilton when he wanted to watch Minions.
Nice.
Dorian, though, he's not paying attention to any of that. His focus is locked on what's happening across the hall. Celaena and Chaol, sitting there, staring at each other like they're the only 2 people in the damn room. And to Dorian, this is definitely something more.
She had never looked at him like that. Not once. Dorian doesn't think anything has happened yet. Chaol is too loyal, too stubborn to have actually crossed that line. But even so, he doesn't think Chaol even realizes that she's looking at him the same way that he looks at her. And suddenly, it all clicks. He deserves someone who looks at him the way she looks at Chaol, and rightfully so. So he does the only thing he can do to save himself. He lets her go. And no, I did not cry.
You completely cried. You definitely cried. And that's okay. It was a very sweet moment.
That's very sweet.
Well, I guess the king did not enjoy this performance. His personal guards drag Rhaena forward to the butcher's block, one already soaked with the blood of her now dead companions. Harrington and Roland are there too, standing back, watching, waiting. The guards yank Rhaena by her hair, forcing her to look up at the king from her knees. The message is clear. He wasn't joking about magic. Even speaking of it is punishable by death.
Oh, but Rhaena, she stares him down. Her eyes are bright. She had worked for 10 years to get to this moment, to stand before the king and sing the songs of magic right in his face. She hadn't resisted when the guards had grabbed her. She hadn't screamed when they had beheaded her companion, because she had known that she wasn't getting out of this alive. So she tells him, oop.
It's okay. Take your time. Okay.
So she tells him that no matter how many people he slaughters, no matter how hard he tries to wipe magic from this world, there will always be those who remember.
Roland snorts, fucking prick. The king has had enough. He snaps his fingers, and just like that, it's over. But Rhaena, she doesn't go so quietly. She starts reciting a list of the dead, every name of every person killed at the king's hands. She's still saying names when the axe falls.
Well, I guess he's not fucking joking about magic.
No, he's, so unfortunately, I did say I wanted to see how brutal the king was, because we didn't see much of him in Throne of Glass, and yeah, I'd say he's pretty brutal.
Yeah, I guess that answers that question. But it sounds like she knew exactly what she was doing. She waited 10 years for this. She did everything she could for the last 10 years to be able to do this in his face. And I love her for that.
Well, and this is what people don't get about how powerful books are. We've seen that woman on TikTok that everyone kind of bashed, where she said, oh, you're just reading books about dragons and fantasy and blah, 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 blah. But you don't know how real some of these stories can be. Like, these stories are brought from reality a lot of times. I mean, this is kind of like Nazi Germany almost, like what's going on here. So
yeah, no, I can see that.
So what I'm trying to say is, like, books bring real feelings, because this is the fourth time that we've gone over this. Like, we've read it, we've done notes, we've done extra notes, we've read through these notes, and every time this part of the book brings emotion out of us, because, you know, you just put yourself in there and you feel it. It's just so well written.
I don't need any more assisting with the crying.
I'm not trying to make you cry. I'm just saying.
No,
saying that. Like,
I was talking about SJM.
I'm just saying. Well, I'm just saying that when people say that these types of books, these fiction books, these fantasy books, don't have any impact on people, they 100% have an impact on people. These are beautiful written stories about real issues, real things. They might be fake people.
And they just happen to have dragons. Deal with it.
They have dragons and they have fae and magic. So what? But they have real issues that people around the world deal with in our real world.
Yep.
And a lot of times these books help bring attention to that kind of stuff.
Agreed.
So with that said, as we always do, let's start at the beginning. So Rhaena Goldsmith is apparently a famous singer from the Aurelia, one of Celaena's favorites, sings a beautiful song, but then she takes her moment of defiance and sings a forbidden song in front of the king for the little shit Holland's birthday, which is well deserved.
I love that it was a very pointed message at them about magic.
And that's why I said it was like the Kendrick Lamar moment. That's kind of what a lot of people don't realize. What he did during the Super Bowl was his big kind of FU moment right there.
And this was Rhaena's moment, same moment.
I mean, I don't think, obviously Kendrick Lamar's not going to meet this fate, but he's definitely going to get sued by certain people. A lot of people are going to sue his ass and try to take him down that way.
Oh my goodness.
Well, that's what people do, unfortunately.
Well, maybe they'll have secret guards like the king has secret guards. Wait, what? Why does the king have secret guards? And what are secret guards? I want to talk about that because she actually said secret guards. So does Chaol, captain of the guards, not know about secret guards?
That is a good question.
I bet he has no idea.
That reminds me of the Praetorians in Star Wars, because the what's his name? Palpatine had his secret guards besides Darth Vader, and Chaol would be like your kind of Darth Vader guy. Not that Chaol's a bad guy like Darth Vader. I'm just saying, like, he's like the second in charge, basically. But he still had his secret guards that guarded him, like Secret Service, I guess. Yeah, it's kind of like Secret Service. Like, Chaol would be like almost the head of the Secret Service, maybe? I don't know.
Yeah, but then he would have some extra guards that were even guardier than the Secret Service, because that's what that is. Those are secret guards. If Chaol is the captain of the Royal Guard, who's in charge of these secret guards? Probably just the king. They probably answered directly to the king and no one else.
And it did say secret guards, not private guard. Okay.
It literally says, King Adderland stood at the back of the dungeon chamber as his secret guards dragged Reyna Goldsmith forward. Secret guards.
Then yeah, Chaol definitely doesn't know, because remember that was the question that Celaena had was, well, who's interrogating all these people that group was saving? It's definitely not Chaol. So it's these secret guards. And I guarantee it's either Roland or Borrington.
Oh, that's kind of quote unquote in charge of
Probably
the
both.
secret guards.
Yes.
Oh.
Yes. That might be Roland's little secret reason why he's there, maybe.
Or maybe that was what Kane's role used to be, maybe.
Could be.
And now they have to put Roland in there, even though he's not on the same soldier level anyways.
Yeah. Well, I hate to get you back in your feelings, but we kind of have to, because there's one moment we have not talked about, which also got us a little, I wouldn't say sad, because we felt happy for Dorian. It was like tears of joy for him because he let go of Celaena. And it was kind of like a sweet moment for him, because instead of being jealous and being angry at the two of them, he was kind of like, you know what? I just want everyone to be happy. Everyone deserves to be happy.
He didn't want to turn into the bitter king that people write legends about, that burned down kingdoms because the woman that he loved didn't love him back.
Exactly.
He didn't want to be that person. So good for him. I'm glad that he chose the high road. He saw that she didn't look at him the same way, and he recognized that he deserved to have someone look at him that way.
Well, not only that, but think about how mature that is for a 19-year-old too. To have that realization about yourself, for a lot of men especially, it takes decades, if not ever. A lot of men don't even ever come to that realization.
Yep.
And Dorian at 19 was like, you know what? She's not happy with me, but she's happy with my best friend, and I want to see my best friend happy. So you know what? It's okay. Obviously, he's still going to have some feelings towards it. It'll still take time for him to heal, because that's just closure for him. And he's still allowed to grieve, but he's still also allowed to feel this way and be happy for them.
Yeah. And I love that for him, that he has that growth. So I love that growth for Dorian.
Yeah. So I got one more thing. Okay. It's extremely tinfoil hat.
Okay.
Just because of this, the song that Reyna sung sounds eerily familiar to Nesta from ACOTAR. Very powerful. Everybody wants her as a weapon. People couldn't see who she truly is. A knight, as in Cassian, sees who she truly is. I know I'm really, really reaching here because of, especially looking at the date of publication. This book came out way before Silver Flame came out. However, she maybe could have used that story as a building block for Silver Flame to connect the universes. That's very possible.
It is.
However, it just sounded very Nesta to me, because she is all powerful and everybody wants to use her as a weapon.
I feel like it is definitely important.
Yes.
I'm not sure if it connects to ACOTAR or anything like that, but I feel like it definitely connects to something. So maybe whatever that is someone out of the Oakwald Forest or Aelin or someone else that we have yet to meet, but it's definitely important.
Yeah, I just want to throw that out there as just a fun tinfoil hat for our listeners. And
I like it.
Who knows? Like, what if by some weird magical coincidence, I'm right? That'd be crazy.
That would be pretty crazy.
All right. You ready to turn the page?
I am ready to turn the page.
Here we go. Chapter 16.
A side of eggs and existential crisis. It's time for a girl brunch, except instead of mimosas and fun gossip, it's just straight up tension on the menu today. Nehemia is not here to play. She's throwing out pointed remarks, questioning their friendship and how she's supposed to justify it to her parents. And then she just goes for the throat. Celaena only cares about herself and her own freedom.
Jesus.
Yeah. Well, Celaena pushes back. Of course she does. She has earned it after everything she's been through. But Nehemia's not letting that slide either. More people have suffered. More people are suffering. And meanwhile, Celaena is just out here playing whatever game makes her life easier. And then Nehemia drops the gut punch, the real one. With each person you kill, I am finding fewer and fewer excuses for remaining your friend. Oof, that's got to leave a mark.
Wow, that's harsh. Celaena flings her spoon down and stalks to the fireplace, jaw clenched. She needs Nehemia to stop looking at her like that before she starts smashing every single one of her cute little baubles. She takes a few deep breaths, listens for anyone nearby, and then she just drops it. I haven't killed anyone.
I haven't killed anyone.
Nehemia stares, blinks. That cannot be right. Say that again. Celaena crosses her arms.
I faked all their deaths and helped them flee.
Nehemia barely believes it, and then, of course, she points out the obvious. If the king finds out, he'll kill you. Well, no shit, Nehemia.
Well, Nehemia's not done yet. She keeps pressing, questioning about Archer now, questioning the information that he's feeding Celaena, especially questioning Archer himself. Is he trustworthy? Is he really? And then, as if that wasn't enough, Celaena decides now is the time to reveal all. So she starts by pointedly looking at the tapestry in her room. Nehemia's eyes follow, and just like that, she recognizes Elena.
Where's the stag?
I don't know. She doesn't mention the stag.
Because the stag is just not there because it's magic and just decided not to appear right now.
Well, she didn't ask about the stag, but she is very curious about the secret door that Celaena shows her behind it. But wait, there's more. That's not even the fun part.
We're off to see Mort. Not that Celaena warns Nehemia. Where's the fun in that? And they descend toward the tomb. Celaena fills her in on everything that's happened since Samhain. The run-ins with Elena, the chaos with Cain, the Ritterak, just your casual normal girl experiences, you know. They near the tomb, and that's when she remembers. Brought a friend?
Nehemia yelps, completely caught off guard by the literal talking door. Celaena, well, she just shrugs it off with a casual, hey, like this is completely normal. Meanwhile, Nehemia is still processing, but Mort is already running his mouth with his usual cryptic nonsense. Celaena is not in the mood and cuts him off. Someone has been using word marks, and that's the only thing that matters. Mort tries to tell her who, but Celaena's already flinging open the tomb door, shutting him down before he can drag this out. Inside, Nehemia takes in the grandeur of the tomb, translating some of the word marks and basically calling them standard tomb posturing. But Celaena's attention is elsewhere. The stars on the floor, they're actually raised. And then she realizes that they form constellations. So naturally, she follows them across the room, tracking the pattern until she reaches the final constellation.
The stag.
Oh, come on.
The literal symbol of Terrasen, Elena's home country, and of course, the damn thing is looking upward as if gazing at something unseen. She follows its line of sight, an eye, no bigger than her palm, etched into the stone wall, one iris hollowed out. It is only with the eye that one can see rightly. Fucking riddles, man.
Quote, Mort, what in the hell is that wall? Does it make any sense to you why it would be here?
No.
Don't lie to me.
Lie to you? To you? Oh, I couldn't lie to you. You asked me whether it made sense. I said no. You must learn to ask the right questions before you can receive the right answers.
What sort of question might I ask to receive the right answer?
I'll have none of that. Come back when you have some proper questions.
This straight up feels like the guys from the Labyrinth, the door knockers from the Labyrinth, or...
the doorknob from Alice?
Yes, or the doorknob from Alice. Very much so. Nehemia tells her that she should probably just ignore Mort, which honestly might be the best advice anyone has ever given Celaena.
And pretty hard to do.
But instead of taking that advice, she has a better idea. Why not learn to read the word marks instead? If she wants answers, she needs to stop relying on other people to translate them for her. So she asks Nehemia to teach her, and to her relief, Nehemia agrees. Of course, Mort just has to get the last word in, throwing out a deeply unnecessary comment.
You might be too dim to learn.
What a shit. But at least the deal is made. Morning walks are now officially being replaced with word mark lessons. Nehemia is still intrigued by the tomb, takes a few more minutes pressing Mort with questions, more out of curiosity than anything else. But predictably, it doesn't take long before he annoys them so much that they storm back to Celaena's room, cursing him every step of the way. Honestly, well deserved.
God, I love Mort. He's so
I do
much
too.
fun. Celaena shows Nehemia the book that she swiped from Davis's office, but honestly, she's starting to think the words are just nonsense, random filler, like a Tumblr cryptic post from 2012.
Oh, nice.
Then she remembers she's wearing the Eye of Elena. Maybe that means something, eh? Nehemia just shrugs.
People were really into slapping eyes on everything a while back.
I mean, we did kind of argue about the sword and the eye just a little while, but she's not wrong.
Yeah, there's eyes everywhere.
Yeah. And just like that, it's back to their now cold-ass brunch. Then Philippa arrives with a message from Archer, a list of names for Celaena to check out. Looks like it's time to do some assassin shit. Tomorrow, they start word mark lessons.
All right. Well, it took Celaena all day to track down the men on Archer's list. questioning them, listening for any valuable information, trying to piece together something, anything useful. But by the time the sun set, she had nothing. No leads, no insights, just hours wasted chasing shadows. She's exhausted, she's cranky, she's starving, and finally makes her way back to her rooms, hoping for a moment to rest. But instead of peace, she finds a note from Chaol waiting for her. It's not a fun note. It's not a flirty note.
Aww.
It's a summons.
Boo.
She's been assigned guard duty for the royal ball tonight because clearly her day had not been frustrating enough already.
Oh my God, she's going to be pissed about that one.
It's going to be a long day for her.
All right, speaking of long, this chapter was pretty long, especially for Nehemia and Celaena. So let's start at the beginning. Nehemia was trying to get a lot of information out of Celaena, pretty much berating her about everything she's doing, so you're not doing enough. And then Celaena finally had enough and said, look, I'm not killing anybody, and kind of let her in on everything she's doing finally.
Oh, so she's finally got someone who knows all the secrets now, which is great.
Yes, and you and I both said if we were going to take somebody into that dark tunnel, we were going to take Nehemia.
And called it.
So she starts her with the easier tunnel and introduces her to our buddy
Mort.
Yay, Mort, who
Mort.
is as unhelpful as he always is.
But as charming as ever.
Of course. And then, so there's a couple constellations on the ground. So we notice that the stars are raised and they form constellations. So there was a few others that they mentioned. We don't have to mention them right now. We'll get back to them when we do our lore recap later on. But the most important one is the stag, because that runs into that floor.
And it's like looking up the wall at the word mark that's kind of a face. And then there are two eyes, and one of the eyes has an iris that's a little pinhole.
But it said that the eye was as big as the fist, right?
Yeah. So like it's not a small word mark, but the word mark looks like a face. And then there are two eyes, and
she can look through it.
Yep.
And she saw
but she has
nothing
to
but a
stand
wall.
on tiptoe.
Yeah, on the constellation.
Yep. And Mort doesn't seem to want to answer any questions unless she asks the correct question. And of course, she doesn't know what that question is yet.
Now, the reason why I think it is the Eye of Elena is because in the middle of the Eye of Elena, you have that sapphire jewel. And so what is that? Where is it at? It is only with the eye that one can see rightly. So right now, when you just look through that little peephole, all you're seeing is a flat wall. But if you look through that same hole, holding up the Eye of Elena through, the little sapphire, maybe you might see something differently.
What if the sapphire insets into the sword and then you look through both?
That is also possible, because
then you'd have to have two keys, quote unquote keys.
So technically, you and I are both right. We use our powers combined.
Yes,
with our powers combined, we have connected the dots for the riddle, hopefully.
Maybe.
I'm sure everyone else who has read this book who knows the riddle are laughing like, well, one of you are right or both of you are right. So obviously don't tell us. We want to be surprised. We do enjoy the crypticness and the riddles, even though we talk shit about them sometimes. We do have a ton of fun because we love our tinfoil hats.
Love the riddles.
So speaking of tinfoil hats, she got a list of names that she was supposed to check out from Archer.
From Archer. And I guess he's just throwing lists of names around, doesn't care who reads the list of names. Not very secret in his delivery of the list of names. Here, Philippa, just hand this over.
Now, I do find it curious when it comes to Archer again. Nehemia doesn't trust him either. So Chaol doesn't trust him. Nehemia doesn't trust him. Dressed like a wolf. I'm telling you, this time I really do not trust him. This is not me joking around like I was with Knox. I think Archer's a shithead.
Maybe he's an undercover assassin and his persona is the courtesan.
Ooh, okay.
And that would explain the assassin who betrays her, maybe?
I mean, who knows? Again, all the tinfoil hats just flaring around. So one thing that should help Celaena with her tinfoil hat theories are learning to read word marks with Nehemia. That way she can kind of figure things out on her own instead of having to go to Nehemia the whole time. So we're excited for her to learn about that whole thing.
Love learning new languages. It sounds like she's learned a couple already in the mines. She learned, Elway?
Yeah, well, I think this is an important moment because remember the word mark teachings are only in Nehemia's family. So it has not gone outside of her family until now.
I hadn't thought of it in that manner.
Yes.
Okay.
So I think I'm pretty sure that's what it
She's
said.
not teaching her how to use them, though. She's just teaching her how to read them.
That's still a lot,
It is.
though.
It is still a lot of information.
Because they even think the king doesn't know how to read word marks yet.
Yeah, weirdos.
And they were trying to figure out, well, how does Cain know? Does somebody in the White Fang Mountains know how to teach people? So they didn't even know how Cain knew how to read word marks. So Nehemia really, I think, thinks that her family only knows how to read them.
Huh.
So now she's going to teach Celaena. I think that's a big, big deal. But Celaena did give her that trust by telling her everything on the way down to see Mort. So it makes sense.
What if, I'm going to put my tinfoil hat on.
Let's do it.
What if when Cain and the Ridderak made their deal, they didn't just take like their strength, they also took memories and knowledge.
I can see that.
That would be a way that they could learn word marks and everything about them very easily.
I can definitely see that. However, I think the rings allow that. I think the rings allow a lot of different types of powers that we still have yet to unlock. Obviously, it can help somebody grow into
Cain.
Super Shredder Cain. Or you can control someone's mind like Kaltain.
Yeah.
Oh God, there's so much. I can't wait. I cannot wait. Are you ready to turn the page? We need to finish this and keep reading. I am so excited.
I am. Let's go.
Here we go. Chapter 17.
Waltzing on thin ice.
Chaol was smart to keep his distance from Celaena tonight. Otherwise, he'd be getting an earful about being stuck on guard duty again. So, like the tactical genius he is, he posted her outside to cool off. That is the last place you would post. If you're just trying to cool me off, don't put me outside. I hate the cold.
Same.
But that way, he could keep an eye on her and the ball, so he found himself a nice little spot to watch both. Inside, the winter ball is a stunning spectacle in honor of Holland, the demon child himself. And no doubt Celaena would have loved to be in there soaking up the luxury instead of playing Paul Blart Mall Cop outside in the cold.
Nice. Chaol didn't exactly have love in his heart for Holland and dreaded the day that the little terror would be old enough to wield real power. His only hope? That when Dorian ascended the throne, he'd be able to keep Holland's inner sociopath in check. As he stood watch, his gaze drifted to the ballroom where Dorian was effortlessly charming everyone. Chaol couldn't help but acknowledge it. Dorian made it look all so easy. The dancing, the politics, the way people just gravitated toward him. It was frustrating.
Do you think jealousy?
Envy? I think envy. Maybe not jealousy, but a little bit of envy. He wished it would be that easy for him.
And not bad envy. He's just like, oh, that's nice. I
wish it was that easy for me.
Yeah. Chaol snaps out of whatever bromance daydream he was having and looks over at Celaena. But she's gone.
Uh-oh.
Cue the signature Chaol Westfall disappointment snarl. Which would be fine, except that abandoning post isn't just an annoyance. It could get both of them in a world of trouble with the king. He moves towards where she should be, hand already on the hilt of his sword, ready for, well, not this.
Celaena did abandon her post, but not because of danger, because she wanted to dance. She wasn't sneaking around. She wasn't causing chaos. She was lost in the music, waltzing alone in the garden, like the world just vanished around her.
I'm sorry, but when we read this part, I thought about that Whitney Houston song, I Want to Dance with Somebody. I just thought about that being in her head while she's waltzing around. Sorry.
I love that song.
That would have been in my head while dancing by myself. That's me.
I love that song. Chaol froze. Should he be a Chaol chip and ruin this moment? But before he could figure it out and make a decision, she stopped right in front of him. And we're going to quote, I'm bored to tears and nearly dead with cold.
He remained atop the stairs watching her.
And it's your fault. You made me come out here, and someone left the balcony door open so I could hear all that lovely music. So you should really reconsider who's to blame. It was like putting a starving man in front of a feast and telling him not to eat, which, by the way, you actually did when you made me go to that state dinner.
You're the greatest assassin in Aurelia, and yet you couldn't stand watch for a few hours?
What's there to watch? Couples sneaking out to fondle each other between the hedges? Or His Royal Highness dancing with every eligible maiden?
You're jealous?
Gods, no. But I can't say it's particularly fun to watch him or watch any of them enjoying themselves. I think I'm more jealous of that giant buffet no one is even touching.
Chaol knows this is a bad idea. He knows he shouldn't cross the line. But that night at the concert, when he really looked at her, something shifted, and he realized too late what he'd been missing. Hell, he even made her run an extra mile just to spend time with her. My man, There are better ways to spend time with her, you clown. Like get her a coffee, get her a protein shake after your normal run instead of making her run more just because you like her. That is just so weird.
That does not scream, I like you. Well, I mean, I guess it does. That's very much pull hair in elementary school.
From what I
liking.
remember, she wasn't too into running. He kind of forced her to run.
Yeah, I mean, that's how I feel about running. I'd have to be forced into it also.
Coffee, Kale. Simple coffee, and you're in.
Yeah, there's no need to make people run extra miles just to spend more time with them. Celaena sighs, telling him she just wanted to feel normal for a moment. The music was playing and she figured, why not? She assumes he's about to slap her with some extra miles tomorrow, but instead, he does the unthinkable. He steps right up to the line and then he crosses it. He holds out his hand.
Dance with me. Surely she didn't hear that correctly.
What?
What part of that was confusing? But no, it wasn't the words that threw her. It was how he said them.
If men understood this, like really understood that, they would really have us hook, line, and sinker.
Yes, because you love confidence. And he was confident in that moment with her and was like, I want to dance with her and I will dance with her.
Yes.
And she loved it.
Yes.
Because unlike Dorian at Yulmus, he hadn't invited her to dance. She throws it back in his face. She had tried to dance with him at Yulmus and he'd rejected her, which is true, by the way, so fair point. And now suddenly things are different.
Different since when?
That's what we're saying. We are missing a whole 2 months here. I have questions.
Me too.
Well, he says it again. And this time, when she looks into his eyes, everything else in the world disappears.
The cold, the moon, the glass palace, the secret library, Mort.
Oh, Mort?
Elena. Stags on tapestries or no stags.
They do disappear.
None of it matters. It's just the music and Chaol. They don't speak. They actually don't smile. They just move faster and faster, completely locked into each other's rhythm. It's like sparring, but with elegance instead of violence. Somewhere in the middle of it, she manages to breathe out. We'll never be a normal boy and girl, will we?
No, we won't.
And the music explodes around them. Celaena realizes something in that moment, something big. When she looks at Chaol, she feels something she hasn't felt in a long, long time. She's home.
And cue the waterworks.
I made it. It's barely.
I see you squinting over there. You're trying to hold back. Hold it back. Hold it back. Suck it back in. Suck it. Suck it back in. Suck that tear back in. Get it back in there.
I've seen that on a movie. What movie was that?
Oh my God. What was that?
I don't remember, but he totally sucks his tear back in.
Hey, somebody help us out on our social medias. Let us know what movie that was. That was when he sucks the tear back, and you know what I'm talking about, right?
I totally know what you're talking about, and I can't think of it, but I can't manage it, so it just rolled down. So,
all right. Well,
anyways,
speaking of more waterworks, now we're looking from Dorian's point of view.
Oh, great.
Standing at the ballroom window, watching Celaena and Chaol dance in the garden. He had intended to step outside, get some fresh air after finally catching a break from the onslaught of ladies vying for his attention. But yeah, that's not happening now. Nehemia steps up beside him, pulling his attention away. She's been scarce around court lately, but tonight, she is making one hell of an entrance. She is easily the most beautiful woman in the room.
She tells Dorian not to cause trouble for Celaena and Chaol, that neither of them will ever understand the responsibilities of court life. Prince and princess problems, I guess. Dorian tells her he has already decided to move on, and Nehemia thanks him for that. And while they're having this conversation, she's tracing symbols on the window. Did you catch that?
I did catch that.
That's casual, super unnoticeable.
Nehemia doesn't waste time with pleasantries, though. She cuts straight to the point. Roland, your piece of shit cousin.
Ugh.
The king's approval of Councilman Millicent's plan to swell Calicula's ranks. Why is Roland pushing her, trying to get her to convince her father to agree with expanding a fucking death camp? And worse, she's not even allowed to attend the council meeting tomorrow where they'll be voting on it. Sounds familiar. Nehemia boldly turns to Dorian.
Intervene.
And Dorian, Crown Prince, heir to the throne, walking embodiment of privilege, can only say, I can't.
And Nehemia finally lets him have it. You can't or you won't. Would he leave Celaena there? There are thousands suffering every day, enduring so much worse than anything they'll ever see inside this castle. Wait, is her accent fading? Oh, Dorian notices. And then he glances around because, yeah, this conversation is getting attention. Across the ballroom, Chaol and Celaena are back at their posts, acting like nothing happened. Dorian leans in, lowering his voice.
This isn't the place for this conversation. Nehemia stares at him. It's that same weighty, knowing stare that she gave Celaena back in Throne of Glass.
You have more power in you, Prince. More power than you realize.
Then she reaches out, actually touches his chest, traces a symbol there.
It sleeps in here. When the time comes, when it awakens, do not be afraid.
The entire room stops. Nehemia just touched him. And what the hell did she mean by that? Because deep inside him, something ancient, something vast stirs, something big just opened an eye. Woo! And our boy is alive.
Oh my gosh. The end of this chapter,
we were this close to ending it here to give you guys a cliffhanger, but we looked at the pages and we were like, okay, we can squeeze in one more chapter. This would have been a great cliffhanger, though. This was fantastic. This chapter was great.
This is a fabulous chapter. Let's start at the beginning, though. Celaena is not happy. We knew that. She wasn't going to be happy about guard duty. And to cool her off, he's like, oh, it's cool. You can actually cool off outside,
right,
in the cold. Thank you very much.
First of all, she just wants to do some assassin shit.
And or eat at the buffet. There's so much food and she's not getting any of it. I am here for the food, she says.
He's doing it the wrong way. Look, feed your people. If there's anything that all these CEOs know is if you want to make your people happy, pizza party. They'll forget everything. So feed Celaena, right? She'll forget everything. Let her get some feasty feast and then she'll be guard happy.
They're not going to eat all of it anyways.
That's what I'm saying. They're just going to let it toss and go away.
Well, she leaves her post because she is bored out of her gourd.
Hey, she just wanted to dance with somebody.
Yeah. Well, she starts dancing with herself and she's not at her post. So Chaol has to go investigate and he sees her dancing by herself. So he's got, can he make fun of her? Is he going to yell at her? But he doesn't do either of those things. And instead he crosses the line he has given himself.
Yes.
Did he cross it or did he just move it a little bit? Is he just moving the line a little bit farther forward?
It depends on the type of person. For Dorian, he barely moved the needle. For Chaol himself, yes, this is a huge, huge, huge step.
But do you think he stepped over the line or do you think
completely.
He just moved the line
foot.
forward?
He's 1 foot over the line.
Okay.
He's straddling the line, I would say.
Okay. Well, that was quite the moment where she felt at home.
Yes.
And I barely got through that this time. The other 3 times that I have read it, I did not. So,
but again,
I did it this time.
But this goes back to Chaol's growth as a character from how we knew him in Throne of Glass, the end of Throne of Glass, to how we even met him 2 months after where we're at now with him. Because again, at the beginning of this chapter, he's watching Dorian being his charismatic self. And he's like, God, I wish I could do that. And then he goes and he finds Celaena. And I think that's when it hit him. He's like, I can do this. I can be that charismatic guy. I can be that person. And he's finally said, dance with me. Made it happen. Good for him.
I like it. I like that he took initiative.
Now, here's my big question to anyone that has read the series, and my question to you as well. Is this that moment for our mains? If you know what I'm talking about in Akamath, chapters 50, the soup. Is this the soup moment? This dance, is this the soup moment? Because when Dorian's watching and Nehemia comes up, she says, do not ruin this for them. She even sees how happy they are. So is this the soup moment? Is this the moment where
I'm going to say
where
no.
Celaena happened? So no Celaena? We're not doing a Celaena?
Oh my God. No, not yet.
No,
because
okay.
I don't think either of them have communicated their feelings. And that's no.
Okay, I'm just wondering
Celaena
because
yet.
this is huge for Chaol.
Yes.
That's why I'm wondering if it's a big moment, because just the way Nehemia says it, I mean, she sees the pain in Dorian with Dorian watching this, and I think that's a big moment that SJM is trying to show us that, again, Dorian said, I'm going to let this go, but he still feels the pain and the angst by even watching the happiness. He wants them to be happy, but he still feels it, and Nehemia shows up and says, look, they're happy. Let them be. And I feel like that whole let them be is another closure point for Dorian and for everyone saying, they are meant to be.
I'm not sure that it's they are meant to be. It's just that he is not meant to be with her. Nehemia was affirming that, hey, they run in different circles than we do. We are prince and princess, and we have prince and princess responsibilities. that an assassin and the captain of the royal guard are never going to understand.
Good point.
That was how I took that.
No, that's a very, very good point. Speaking of prince and princess duties, let's talk about the conversation they had together. That was a wake-up call for Dorian, for real.
And it sounds like it woke up something inside of him. Something big just opened an eye. What kind of eye? What color was it? I'm so excited.
I think at this point, we can safely assume Dorian is nothing like his father. He has a very, very good heart. I just don't think he knew how bad it was because he's always been playing, because you even said it, you've been playing Playboy. You've been doing this, not paying attention to what's been going on in your father's kingdom. Let me open your eyes for you. And it all started with the 500 rebels that were killed. They want to do this in Celaena and make it bigger and worse. Open your eyes, do something. And then she even knew there was something more powerful in him, drew the symbol on him, and probably helped him open up whatever lovely, crazy, magical. Oh, I can't wait.
Do you think it would have happened if she hadn't drawn a symbol on his chest?
That's a good question. Because we had that moment where he woke up and it had the ice and it was cold.
So something was already happening.
Ready. Something's ready.
Maybe that's what she recognized and unlocked it, maybe?
That's a good point. Or it could also be a protection word mark to protect him while this is happening to him.
No, that definitely felt like an awakening.
Helping to awaken.
Yeah, that was a wake up.
Oh my God, I can't wait to see.
That's what it felt like. Wake up.
I can't wait to see what happens.
We gotta hurry up and finish these so we can read.
One more chapter. You ready to turn the page?
I am. Let's go.
Last but not least, chapter 18.
Power plays and power surges. Archer finally arrives at his own house, probably thinking he's about to unwind, except, surprise! Celaena is already there, posted up like she owns the place, and she's done playing games.
Typical assassin move, yeah.
It's a power move. She tells him, have a seat. And when she catches his butler eavesdropping, she doesn't even bother to turn around, just tosses out a casual, hey man, don't make me kill you. The way she delivers it, pretty chilling. He walks away like, this isn't even a threat. This is a reminder I'm an assassin. Archer is already looking a little pale, and it gets worse when she calls out his half-assed quote-unquote help. A list of names, that's it. He starts scrambling for more time, but she's not feeling generous. He gets 3 weeks max. There isn't more time to give. The king gave her 4 weeks. That's it.
Yeah, that's all you get, bro. Well, then Archer makes the dumbass mistake of bringing up Chaol and Dorian, casually throwing out, you trust them, don't you? Oh, hell no. He definitely recognized Chaol outside the tea house, but questioning Celaena's trust, that's where he fucked up. Her expression turns to ice. 6 days. He either brings her something real, or the next meeting won't be nearly as pleasant. Told ya.
Meanwhile, Dorian is getting hit with some seriously messed up numbers from Celaena. He should have fought to have Nehemia in this meeting, but it's already clear. Their minds are already made up. And then something worse. His father smiles faintly at Roland. There's a mention of the black ring and that monstrous fireplace. Wait, hold up. Does Roland have a black ring too?
What?
Yep.
You called it. You said Roland was going to be the next. Now he has a ring. Okay. Well, Roland pitches his brilliant idea, expand the mines, shove even more slaves into Celaena, and build housing along the edge of Oakwald. Murmurs of agreement ripple through the room until Dorian, voice sharp, cuts through it. Where will the slaves sleep? Roland shrugs. In the mines, less travel time, more efficiency. Dorian, already fed up with his absolute bullshit, decides to go full send. Maybe there are too many slaves because they aren't all rebels and criminals. Maybe just let them go. Ooh, wrong room for that take, Dorian.
Yeah, the king shuts that down fast, but not as a father, as a ruler. But Dorian, he's done. He's done playing nice.
Is this the plan? Now that we've conquered the continent, you'll throw everyone into Celaena or Endovier until there's no one left but Adderland's own?
Silence. And then that burning rage flickers. That ancient power Nehemia spoke of, it stirs. He dares them. Spend a year in Celaena, then tell me about your plans.
His father slams a fist on the table. Mind your mouth or get out before the vote. Fine. Dorian's out. He doesn't need to hear more. He shouts his vote of no, not in 1,000 years, and storms from the room, rage boiling. He keeps moving, descending deeper and deeper into the castle. Flight after flight of stairs, and then he punches a wall and it shatters.
Spiderweb cracks race across the stone. A window explodes behind him. The air rushes in. What the fuck just happened? He looks down at his hand. No bruises, no pain, nothing. His hand should be broken. The wall is destroyed.
Nice.
The window is gone. The debris, it never touched him. It circled around him like there was a shield, a magic shield. Dorian promptly loses his shit and gets violently ill.
Oh, shit. He's getting his superpowers. This is superpower mode.
That is right. Amazing.
Get it, Dorian. Meanwhile, completely oblivious to the fact that Dorian is having an actual crisis, Celaena is sprawled in Chaol's room, deeply contemplating the real issues, like how to get Chaol a Philippa equivalent so they can have someone to bring them snacks. Not a terrible idea.
I like it.
I like it too. I need a snack person. Chaol teases her about how little time she spends in her own rooms, but honestly, who the hell wants to deal with secret passages? Mort, Elena, and Ritterax when Chaol's room is right here. I agree with everything except for Mort. I would hang out with Mort. Mort's my guy.
I would also hang out with Mort. He seems fun.
Yeah, you and I can hang out with Mort. She can, whatever. We got Mort. But she has chocolate cake. And Celaena, that's all she wants, right?
Well, Chaol, amused, starts listing other things that she has had delivered to his room. And she snaps back. Hey, she has earned the right to eat whatever, whenever she wants.
Get it, girl.
And apparently, Chaol agrees because the man actually gets up and goes to get her cake.
Treat yourself.
When he comes back, they devour half of it. And Celaena stretches out, lazily watching him drift into a sugar coma. But Nehemia's words are still echoing in her mind. If a court like Terracen's could rise again.
Yes, if they could find more men like Chaol, of course, they could fight back. But not with this king. And then she thinks maybe, just maybe, there's a world where she and Chaol could have a life together. She brushes a hand through his hair, lingers on his cheek, then steals the rest of his chocolate cake. There you go.
Atta girl.
Yeah.
Girl after my own heart. I love it.
Hey, and true love is letting you have it. I would let you have it. Anytime you steal any of my bites, I'm like, that's love.
It is love. Thank you, sweetheart. Celaena is very busy contemplating whether she should eat more cake when she rounds a corner and sees Dorian sitting outside her rooms. They haven't talked since she called him out about Roland. Maybe he's here to apologize. But one look at him a little bit closer and she knows that's not it. Something's wrong with him.
He's looking for Nehemia, but her servant said she was out. So he thought maybe Celaena would know where she was. Then he exhales a ragged breath, and Celaena finally realizes just how cold the hallway is. He turns to leave.
Dorian, what's wrong?
He stops, looks back, and for a split second, something ancient flickers in his eyes. Power. And then it's gone. Nothing. He lies and walks away.
Ooh.
All right. At the beginning, let's start with Archer, that wolf in sheep's clothing. He is giving her bullshit names.
Well, she's giving him an ultimatum. 6 days, give me something other than these bullshit names or else.
Yes, but I called it. I said that he was going to give her minimal info, and he's asking for more time even. So I'm wondering if he's setting a trap for her. Do you think?
Uh-oh. It's very possible. I mean, she's walked into a couple. No offense to her. What?
That's true.
She has.
Well, while Celaena is giving Archer crap, Dorian is giving his father some crap finally.
Finally. It's about time that he grew a pair. He's at that council meeting that he definitely should have invited Nehemia to, despite what his father wanted. Not that she would have gotten a vote, but at least she would have been there to speak her piece.
Small victories at this point.
Yes. Well, he's finally standing up to his father, so, I mean, it didn't go great for him. At least he spoke his piece and learned what they were planning, even if they didn't listen to him at all and are going to do whatever they're going to do anyways.
Well, so we think that the people didn't listen to him, but they 100% listened to him, and they might not change their vote, but what they saw was a little bit of pushback against the king when nobody should be pushing back against the king. So powerful people see that, and they can see that as a weakness.
Oh.
So they can use Dorian as a weakness because there was no consequences for Dorian. The only thing the king said was, you're going to lose your vote. Anyone else, their head would be chopped off. Guarantee anyone else in that room, mouth off to the king, their head's gone.
Fair.
So the fact that Dorian can get away with that shows a little bit of weakness, and that is, again, small victories.
Well, that's his heir to the throne. He's been, quote unquote, grooming him, and he doesn't want Holland, the little shit. At least not yet, anyways.
I would think the king would want Holland, because the Holland's more like him.
Maybe.
Dorian's gonna
It seems like, how old is Holland? He seems young still.
He's 10. He's still only 10. Remember, it's only been 2 months since the whole thing. So he's still young.
Okay.
But he's going to be a terrible, terrible...
He can grow up into a terrible person already. Okay, or still.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, speaking of terrible people, Roland now has a ring, which you called.
Yeah, called that.
Good job. But I wonder...
what it does.
For him.
Yeah.
Are they controlling him, or are they just like, you're part of the Ring Brothers now, so like the 3 of them are going to control other people? And
I don't know.
He's part of the
but
plan.
Roland is in charge of tracking Nehemia.
Oh.
So we have to keep that in mind too. Because Parrington had a ring and he was fucking with Caltaine. So what if Roland has a ring and they're using it to mess with Nehemia?
And they're going to try to mind control Nehemia the way they mind control Caltaine, maybe?
Maybe. And that's why Roland was suggesting, like, hey, you should tell your father that this is a good idea. Maybe they were testing it out to see if the ring would work on her the same way that the ring worked on Caltaine.
Yes. I like it.
I like it. Okay.
Real quick, let's go back to Dorian when he leaves now and punches the wall. So shatters the wall, and then everything, all the glass and everything landed around him in a circle. So like you said, magic shield.
Yes, for sure that was a magic shield.
So we still don't know anything about the magic system yet. There's something to do with cold and ice.
Yeah, he's got blue eyes, so maybe that's the ice thing.
That
the
very well could be. He definitely has
sometimes they do that.
He definitely has some type of ice power, but he might have some other powers because it's a shield, unless there was like an ice shield. But Celaena felt cold around him just now.
So it's like he's emotionally leeching cold, is what it sounds like. And he was having that nightmare on the couch when he was leeching cold. Maybe it's emotionally related.
I mean, that makes sense. That's a typical trope in most of these books, is it's latent and emotionally it brings it up. It's the same thing with X-Men. Their mutations are brought up with emotions. Also, age as well. He's coming of age to the normal age where the phase, the Fae lineage stops aging. So this might be the time where he gets his powers. So it's latent. Or
starts learning about his powers.
Yeah, and Nehemia, like you said, put the little mark on him, probably helped him open him up.
Yeah.
And that's why he's searching for Nehemia, because he needs answers. But I want to mention one more thing about that part where he's sitting outside of Celaena's room. I know for a fact he wasn't there looking for Celaena at all. He was for real looking for Nehemia. But when he said nothing at the end, when she asked what's wrong, that was very sad to me, because I feel like Dorian feels he can't talk to her anymore the way he used to. That type of relationship is now gone for them. Because even though they said they want to be friends, we've talked about this, when you take that step forward and become more than friends and then try to take that step back, it's very hard. And especially when you see your best friend now with her, it's just hard to open yourself up to that person again.
And I want to also point out that she is still very closed off. When she sees him, it's not, hey, how's it going? It's, the fuck do you want?
That's true.
So, like, how is he supposed to feel welcome in that space? Like, she has made it clear that she isn't a safe space for him. So why would he think she was? So I feel like she kind of did that to herself.
So you think that she's purposely pushing him away?
I don't know.
But
I mean,
well
it's clearly that she is pushing him away. It's a bit late for a visit, she said, by way of greeting. Like, okay, like, hey, how's it going? Why you got to be like that about it?
Well, I'm wondering if that's why SJM put in this small little scene with her and Chaol just eating chocolates together, because it's a kind of unimportant scene. It's just them chilling, eating chocolates. Now, I can see that as being like a boyfriend, girlfriend, new couple, just lounging together, but it's kind of showing where they are versus where Dorian is at. Like, those two are together and Dorian's out here by himself dealing with this while they are over here playing cuddle buddies.
Well, and it's just the complete different way that she's interacting with them. Like, she doesn't treat Chaol like that at all.
No, not at all.
And I mean, did we miss something in the 2 months that we don't know about?
No, I just think that's it. I think she just doesn't know how to have a normal relationship with Dorian anymore. So she's pushing him away. She feels like that's easier. And Chaol is her safe space now. Because her and Chaol now have a very special connection by Chaol having killed Cain. Now that they have that, know what it's like to kill somebody. And that's a very special bond that they also have that they don't have with Dorian.
Yeah.
I feel bad for Dorian. He feels lonely right now.
He's very lonely, which is why he was looking for Nehemia. I think the power woke in him and he remembered what she said when she popped that symbol on his chest. Hey, when you're ready, when you need help with this, come find me. And that's why he was looking for her.
Yeah. Well, chapters 10 through 18 have been emotional, to say the least.
Oh my gosh.
You cried at least 4 times reading. I
least.
probably cried a few. This is, wow. This is a lot different
This
than
is
Throne of
book
Glass.
2.
This is a lot different than the first book already.
This is book 2.
Book 2. And we're only
I'm never going to be the same.
18 chapters in, roughly 150 pages in. That's it.
Oh, man.
All right. Are you ready for He Said, She Said? Let's liven this up.
Oh, I am. Let's do He Said, She Said.
All right, folks. It's time for He Said, She Said, the game where we test each other's knowledge of this week's chapters by guessing who said what.
Or more accurately, it's the game where I win because Scott either overthinks it or totally blanks out.
Excuse me? I'm just giving you the illusion of superiority. It's called strategery.
Is that what we're calling it? Anyway, we've each picked 3 quotes, and the other person has to guess who said them. 30 seconds, no hints, no lifelines, maybe some multiple choice if he begs.
And apparently no mercy either. Let's get to it before Genevieve starts drafting her victory speech. All right, babe, here we go with another He Said, She Said. This is number 2 for Crown of Midnight. If we are counting just Crown of Midnight, we officially have a draw.
All right, we're
But
starting off good.
overall, I am 0-5-1.
I'm sorry. All right, catch up. Let's start with your easy one.
Oh, you want me to go first this time?
Yeah.
Okay. All right, here we go. My easy one. I'll have none of that. Come back when you have proper questions.
Aw,
I made it easy
you
because
did.
I had to get one of his quotes in there
You did. I love that quote. That was Mort.
too.
Hang on. What was the quote again?
What?
What was the quote again?
You know, damn. Okay. I'll have none of that. Come
yeah.
back when you have proper questions.
It was Mort to Celaena. Sorry.
Yes. Ding, ding, ding. Now, it could have been to Nehemia because Nehemia did speak to him, but that was definitely to Celaena
Definitely to
during
Celaena.
that moment. All right. What is your easy question?
Man, I think I'm really just not good at this.
Are you about to burn me again?
I don't know.
Hit me. Hey,
I'll
throw
deal
it.
with it if it comes to that.
I'll deal with it if it comes to that. Okay. Can you say that in a German language?
No.
What about 9? Okay. What are they dealing with?
I'm not going to tell you.
Well, that might help me figure it out if you tell me what they're dealing
I'll deal
with.
with it if it.
Deal with what?
I'll deal with it if it comes to that.
All right. I'm going to give you my final answer. You ready?
Yep.
Oh, God. I have a feeling this is a trick question. I'm going to say Celaena to Chaol.
No.
It's Chaol to Celaena.
Yes.
Damn it. I knew it. Oh, I should have went with my first gut instinct again. I thought Chaol to Celaena. But it was Celaena to Chaol.
No, it is Chaol to Celaena. But
Yeah, but I thought Celaena to Chaol because I thought she was saying I can deal with it, whatever she's dealing with. Okay, tricky. Yeah, easy.
I don't mean
Easy?
I'm sorry.
It's okay. I'll take it.
Maybe we just do mine in the reverse order then.
I swear to God, if your hard one's like,
The
my
easiest
name is
one.
Celaena Sardathi, and I'm like, oh my God, that's your hard one?
So epic. Okay, what's your
My name is Mort.
what's your
That is Mort said to final answer.
what's
All right,
your
my medium?
Yes.
All right, you ready?
Yes.
Don't you ever stay in your own rooms anymore.
Don't you ever stay in your own rooms anymore.
Yes.
Well, Celaena's not staying in her own rooms anymore, so
No, that's true.
she's hanging out in Chaol's room all the
She
time.
is hanging out in Chaol's, but somebody might be calling her out
But
for
yeah,
hanging out in Chaol's.
Nehemia might be calling her out for not staying in her room.
Philippa could be calling her out.
Uh,
Dorian could even call her out too, because he noticed
hey,
all
quit
that.
trying to confuse me. That was Chaol to Celaena. You confuser.
Are you sure?
Yes.
Positive?
Yes. Yes.
All right, good one. Good job.
All right.
Oh my gosh.
We
Ready?
certainly do not object to that,
To what?
bro.
We don't object to what?
That.
To what?
To that.
To this game? To your medium?
To that.
Wait, have you haven't even said your medium one
That
yet?
is. We certainly do not object.
Why do you always
to
do that,
that.
to me?
I have
Every week
no
you have
idea.
one of those.
Mhm.
I do not object to that.
We certainly do not
We
object
do not
to
object.
that. Mm-hmm.
So
We.
there's multiple people
Yes. We certainly do not object to that.
involved in this conversation.
Yes.
It could be Roland when they're talking about the meeting of Calicula. They don't object to something.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to go Roland to Dorian.
No.
No, okay.
No.
Who was
It
it?
is Reese
Okay,
to Celaena
nice.
when she offered to wipe the floor with Chaol just before Rena started singing.
Okay,
And she asked if they would want to see that. And they said, yeah, we certainly do not object to that.
very good, very good.
All right. What's your hard one?
Oh, you've had my hard one.
And again later.
My hard one. He was shrieking like a pig the whole time.
Oh.
Yeah,
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, that's a good one, huh? Shrieking like a pig. He was shrieking like a pig the whole time.
I assume that this is about Holland.
Okay.
I assume that this is the conversation between Chaol and Dorian, but I do not know who said it.
I will be nice and I will give you a hint. This is only part of the this is just one sentence of a whole paragraph conversation.
Okay, what was the statement again?
He was shrieking like a pig the whole time.
I honestly don't know.
I finally get you.
Yeah, I think so.
Take one guess. You got to give a guess.
Dorian to Chaol.
That is incorrect.
Yay,
That is Reese to Chaol and the group of soldiers.
It's in the same conversation. It's just before that. Oh, I forgot.
He's telling a story.
Yes.
Yeah.
That was the same. Oh, I'm so silly.
All right. Well, you win this one. However, as always, we have our extras. We could throw our extras out there. You win.
I didn't give you my hard one.
Oh, my bad. You didn't give me your hard one. I'm ready for your hard one.
They're slaves. Why shelter them when they can sleep in the mines?
Here's the real question. Do those glasses work? Do you know what the word easy and hard look like?
I am not impressed with you right now.
I mean, they are 4 letters.
Answer the question. Your time is running out.
Fine. It was Dorian to Holland.
No.
Or Roland. Sorry, Roland.
No.
What?
It was Roland to Dorian.
Oh my gosh. I knew it was one of the two. I knew they were talking about it.
Yeah. When are you going to tell the king? When are you going to tell the king?
Tell the king what?
What this bonus answer is. When are you going to tell the king?
We were on the bonus? When did we start the bonus?
We are right now.
You didn't tell me we were on the bonus. Is the clock ticking? Do we even have a clock? The metaphorical clock?
Yeah, the clock is ticking right now.
What is the question?
When are you going to tell the king?
When I goddamn feel like telling the king. All right, get off my back. Don't you start with me. I'll tell the... When are you going to tell the king? Nehemia to Dorian.
Womp.
Ow.
Womp. You don't even have the correct people in the conversation.
I probably don't.
This is Chaol to Celaena.
That's way... Oh, yeah. With the Gloriella and Davis' death and all that fun stuff. Oh, okay. I thought it was Nehemia telling Dorian, when are you going to tell the king about the... whatever. I am way off.
Did you have a bonus?
I do.
What is it?
I want you to look me in the eye and tell me what you think your freedom is worth the price.
That sounds like the beef that Nehemia was having at Celaena.
Oh, look at you, little Miss Smarty Pants. I know right away which one that was.
Tell me how you really feel about losing again.
No more than 6.
I love you.
That's okay.
All right.
All right, guess what?
What?
Obsidian and Garnet are up next for Assassin's Whisper. Let's do it.
Let's do it.
Welcome, Seekers of Secrets, to Assassin's Whisper. I am Obsidian, sharp as a blade, clever as a riddle, and never where you expect me.
And I am Garnet, the shadow you sense but cannot see, and the voice that carries truths only the bold dare to hear.
Together, we are the Keepers of Whispers, guardians of the secrets of Aurelia, entrusted to pass them on to only the most cunning assassins.
This is your covert briefing, a recap of what has transpired in the world of Aurelia. Pay attention, assassin. The truth is a weapon, and we're here to make sure you wield it well.
Listen carefully, for every whisper could mean survival or demise.
Welcome back, my deadly darling. The whispers have been waiting. Rifthold is shifting, and the king, he's growing paranoid. But so much so that little Holland has been dragged back home because nothing says keep the rebels in check like reuniting the family of nightmares. But there are bigger things at play. Celaena's mission leads her straight to dinner with Archer Finn, where he serves up more than just empty charm. He feeds her whispers of a rebel plot and a name the world believes is long dead, Aelin Galathinius.
But Celaena knows better. Aelin is gone, and she has more pressing matters, like playing along with Archer's game just long enough to get to Davis's grand ball. A wordmark covered book waits for her there, as does Davis himself, though not for long. One blade, one quick kill, and his rebellion plans end in a pool of blood.
But not everything is so clean cut. Another kind of dance unfolds. This one between Celaena and Chaol. A stolen moment at the ball. Lingering touches, excuses to stay close. She's spending more time at his place, and for once, she's letting her guard down. But someone isn't thrilled about it.
Dorian. He watches from the sideline, trying to ignore the ache in his chest, but his heart isn't the only thing out of control. Something inside him is waking up, something that shouldn't be there. And Nehemia, she knows more than she's saying. But what exactly is she keeping from him?
And while we're talking about secrets, the castle isn't done whispering. Another tapestry hides another passage, and at the end of it, a massive iron door. Something waits behind it, something dark, something patient. And speaking of things that should probably stay locked away, Elena's tomb is still full of riddles, and Mort, that smug little bastard, remains as unhelpful as ever.
And then there's the king, always watching, always scheming. His plans move forward, and whatever he's plotting, it's big, the kind of big that changes everything.
But for now, our assassin has choices to make, lies to weave, and a growing darkness to outrun. And as the past whispers and the future looms, I leave you with this. Not all secrets are spoken. Some are hidden in the first breath of every word. The cipher reveals itself tomorrow.
Until next time, walk the shadows and trust only the whispers.
Thanks for joining us for this episode of Booked for Two.
Don't forget to subscribe and leave a review to help other book lovers find the show.
Follow us on socials at Booked for Two Podcast for behind-the-scenes content, updates, and sneak peeks. We'll also post the chapters for next week's episode every Sunday, so you can read along.
Join us for our live Q&A every Wednesday at 8 p.m. Central on YouTube and TikTok. Got questions about the podcast or want to know what our favorite romantasy trope is? We got you covered.
Keep an eye on our socials every Friday for cryptic clues from Obsidian and Garnet, the keepers of whispers. Solve the puzzle to win autographed stickers and bookmarks.
Speaking of stickers and bookmarks, they are available for purchase on our website, bookedfor2.com.
Until next time, keep turning the page.